Four little ducks in two large trench coats. What a sight to see.
Good evening, and welcome, my friends, to game night on Saturday, the 12th of August. Great battle there between Mark and Colo at the end there. And I have to say, it's nice to see Battlefront back on the roster, because he used to come up every other week, but now it's rather more sparing this season. But good to see it back. Thank you very much to Clive for a tremendous pack there, and very well done to everyone. Well done to Innes as well, winning the Shadow game, 16 out of 20. No mean feat, that man. Very well played. I will also never get tired of the Cryptex theme tune. I don't think, of the animation. Although there's something weird going on with, I think, some of the kerning of the letters there. The message from our sponsor, Samster.
Hello, fellow human.
Hello, fellow human. Great to have you with us, Sam. Thank you for the 39-month subscription there. Most grateful. And to Clive as well for 4 little ducks and 2 large trench coats. What a sight to see. And 44-month subscription. Most grateful to you, Clive, for that and for that pack that we saw earlier on. It's great to have you all with us. Let me say some hellos. Good evening to Shadowmane and Mark and Tom Nouse Jr. I think that's a new name or newish name. Welcome to you. Good evening, Tyson and Prug, Shapes and Ardenfets, Toot and Lottie Bush, Still Going Colo. Dan and Arun and BC and Ramsey. Good evening, Nata and Innes and Optimax and Kjarvs. Hello to AB Me and Nando and Apodo and the Bassoonist and Anasep and anyone else who is lurking, loitering and lingering in the chat. Message from our sponsor, Shapes.
I forgot I've got one of these too.
Shapes, thank you very much for the 32-month subscription. Most grateful to you for your support. Welcome to everyone who is lingering, loitering and lurking in the chat. You are also most welcome to be here. Thank you so much for joining me for what promises to be a slightly more reserved game night. I think of the back last week with Huds here and mind you, I'm throwing in an extra game tonight as well, but throwing in a buzz off at the start of last week was... it was just all sorts of shenanigans, but it was great having Huds over, and thank you to everyone who was so kind to both him and to all of the people that came along from Huds' community. If anyone has joined us from Huds' community from last weekend, you're most welcome to be here. Thanks very much for the support, and I hope you're in the mood for some good trivia. We have got 3 more games lined up this evening. That first one from Clive was Battlefront. Next up on the docket, as you can see, is Cryptex, as written by our resident crossword expert Dogfish. Great little pack here. A couple of tricky moments in it, and a message from our sponsor Prugs.
I've been away, but now I'm back again. Hurrah!
Hurrah! Great to have you back, Prugs. Hope you had a good time away. Thank you for the 100 bits right there. Most grateful. Yeah, tricky pack in places, but Dogfish certainly knows what he's doing when it comes to crosswords. There was one about there's a country that comes up with where I corrected him and then he corrected me back again. Such is the nature of it. And then we both looked it up and found out I was right to correct it, but it's ambiguous. Big clue over as to what might be coming a bit later on. I'll point it out when it does show up. Clive, welcome to the stream. I will also add, right, I've reinstated my 4th monitor over there because it just means I've got more screen real estate to read questions and stuff. However, previously, I had my first 3 monitors coming out of the graphics card, and that one was coming out of the motherboard, which Huds has suggested may have been the issue of all the blue screens. Since taking that monitor off, the blue screens have been few and far between. There was one which I think was unrelated. I think it was related to a Windows update. I've now hooked this one back in, but with the proper cable, so it's now going to the graphics card as well. So I'm hoping that is going to make it stable. If it does blue screen again and we get a crash at some point mid-game tonight, then I will apologise and I will permanently remove that monitor. But just to give you a heads up, in case you wonder why I'm possibly running on a little bit of anxiety tonight, it's purely on account of that monitor. But it is nice to have all of the space available. I did rejig my desk the other day, so my work laptop is now there, and then all of the other ones are here, which is nice. Jogging, welcome to the stream. We've got some questions from Jogging later on. So Cryptex first by Dogfish. We've then got Distinction by Jogging, which very much looking forward to. Should be light-hearted and a lot of fun. And then the unscheduled game, we are going to be playing Bidding War. We are due to be playing Bidding War on the 2nd of September with Lingo's pack, but I need to do a stress test because I've rebuilt it. Which I'll talk a bit more about later on. We're going to be using an older pack of Onis, but it will be a full pack. So it's questions that we've seen before, but not for a couple of years. Oni's very kindly said I can reuse it because I think he's away tonight. So yeah, Bidding War Remastered. I know I've done an alpha game in Ash's server, and I did a beta game in Ash's server. And both seemed to go. The alpha game gave me some good feedback, which I implemented. The beta seemed to go without much stress. So fingers crossed it's going to work. I wanted to do an on-stream test of it. A proper on-stream test of it prior to using someone who's written questions for it specifically, which is why we're doing that tonight. And it's a shorter stream, but it should be with Cryptex and Distinction, because Distinction's about half an hour and Cryptex runs itself in about 40 minutes. So we should be done around 20 to 10 in time for some Bidding War, which will probably take 45 to 60 minutes. And those questions, it's an older pack from Oni. Jers, welcome to the stream. That's, I think, all the bases covered. I think we're ready to play. So if you are all ready, this one is done in Twitch Lib, so you'll need to whisper to Persephone's Twitch bot. And if you would like to play Cryptex, type in the code. Let's forget the pissed cameraman doing that. XUMZ. I don't know why I made it rocking around so much. I think I was just quite excited to get an animator on a camera when it happened. Ryan Watson, welcome to the stream. Great to have you with us. Time for the code, XUMZ. And yes, a reminder, this is all done through Twitch chat, whispering to Persephone's Twitch spot. Mantissa, welcome to the stream. Sam is Acidic, that's a name we've not seen for a while. Welcome, my dude. How are things down under? Probably a bit rainy. You're getting into the monsoon season at the moment. It must be pretty early. What were you, 10 hours ahead? You up early? Look what I could do, absolute visual effects classic. It really is, Ramsey. And there's a message from our sponsor, ABME. No message, but we have got a 33-month subscription, ABME. Thank you so much for the support. No message there, so you just get me to, I'll just have me saying, thanks. Goodness me, we've got 50 viewers. How did that happen? I'll leave this lobby open for a bit. I think there's any time entry on this game. I think I added this in. So you can come and join in midway through if you like. But yeah, just a reminder, Dogfish is the writer of this pack. He is our resident crossword expert. So expect good things. But as you may expect, there's one or two cryptic crossword clues in there, very mild ones. I can't really do cryptic crosswords, so but I quite enjoyed these. Message from our sponsor, Jers.
Royal F10 red wine, Royal F10 red wine, Royal F10 washing machine, Royal F10 washing machine, Royal F10 red herring, Royal F10 red herring.
Cheers, thank you very much for the 14-month subscription. Most grateful to you and those emotes. I really should get some more emotes. Suggestions into the Discord for emotes that I can bring in. Do come and join us. Jake Pawson, first time watcher, good things for friends on Ash's channel. Well, you're most welcome, Jake, and welcome to the game as well. Great to have you with us. And Amy, welcome to the stream. Lovely to see you here too. Very welcome here, Jake. If you get stuck with anything, you can have a chat with the moderator. There's a few of them lurking about. Who's here in mods tonight? Bash is here, Kolo's here, Score is here. I'm here as well. So if you get stuck, do ask somebody for directions. Most importantly, particularly for this game, make sure you are whispering to Persephone's Twitch bot. It's the bot that will be asking the questions in chat. Whisper the answers back to that bot. Nothing in public chat because it won't be processed and will be deleted. But welcome on into the stream. How many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 18, 24, 25, 26, 27 players. Okay, I think that's enough to get things underway. And yes, suggestions for more emotes, because I've probably got a lot of slots. The one I'm rubbish at, oh, you'll be fine, Sam. You'll be great. Right, let's play Cryptex. And not crash. It's one of those self-running ones. I just have to sit back and put my feet up. I've got to press the button one more time. And then it does its thing and hopefully doesn't crash. So, round 1 is called Decryption. Every 20 seconds, you'll be presented an index number and an 8-letter clue. There are 8 clues in total. These clues will help you crack the cryptex at the end of the round. Oh, yes, this is is this a Compy Please game? What? I don't know what that means. It is a pen and paper game, though. Just to remind you, if you want a pen and paper. So the clue and Cryptex share the same letter in the index position. So if it were hopping Australian marsupial, that would be kangaroo. And if it's got the number 6 in front of it, it means you want the 6th letter of that word. Chuck that into the slot of your Cryptex. Over the course of 8 clues, they will gradually build up to make a full word, which is worth some bonus points at the end. After all 8 clues have been revealed, you get a 10-second break. At any time before the break, you can submit the answer to any of the clues that have been revealed, even if they are no longer the current clue. So if something comes to you 3 clues down the line and you think, oh, I've just realised that it's probably that, you can still submit. Any repetition of answers or incorrect answers will cost you a point, but every correct answer is worth 5 points. After the break, crack the Cryptex. You've got 1 attempt to do that. Cracking the Cryptex is worth 20. Incorrect answers cost 10, but no penalty for abstention. So if you've not got enough clues, then my advice is generally leave it out. Don't take a risk unless you're fairly confident, because there are no other clues other than it's an 8-letter word. Pen and paper strongly encouraged. Whisper to the bot, Mr. Vertigo, welcome to the stream. And if you're all ready, this is a pack from Dogfish 44. Let's play round 1, Decryption. And Mr. Vertigo, welcome to the game as well. Starting off with a prominent part of a grandfather clock. The most famous parts of a grandfather clock, I would say. The 4th letter of this word. Solve this one for 5 points, and then take the 4th letter of the word and pop it into the 4th slot of your Cryptex. You're going to risk it, are you, Aaron? Yeah, but you may have enough clues. Next, 6. Typing device. 6th letter is what you want. It's 8 letters long, but you want the 6th letter. Typing device, and possibly something many of you are working on at the moment. If you're wrong, you can try again. Just lose a point every time you give me a wrong answer, or if you give me a repeat. On to the next. Mythological serpent that can kill with its stare. You want the 8th letter of this. It is Prosecco tonight, Jers, yes. It was Prosecco last night as well. Megs and Dylan have been away in London for the weekend. They just got back a couple of hours ago. So yeah, I was all on me Sweeney last night. Sweeney Todd, on me Todd. So yeah, I was doing some fun stuff, which I'll talk more about in due course. Animal sidekick for a wizard. You want the 1st letter of this word. Lots of green lights, lots of blue LEDs lighting up under them. Remember, those blue LEDs represent which letters you've got. So if you're not sure, then that will tell you. Playground game where one jumps over another. You want the 2nd letter. And a reminder that hopscotch is 9 letters long. So it won't process that one, I think. C-O-T-C-H. Yes, because that was one of the things I thought when proofing this. I thought, oh, that'll get caught out, but it's 9 letters, so you're fine. Remember, all of these clues are 8 letters. It's often served in prison. As one of those cryptic clues, you want the 7th letter of this. It's often served in prison. Argue over something unimportant. You want the 5th letters. I have a track record of doing this with all and sundry. Anyone will have me, really. Topper, welcome to the stream more formally. Are you in the game, Topper? I don't see you, but welcome on in, all the same. Lovely to have you here, my dude. Hope you're well. Ben says hello to him. That probably goes back to lurking. Should have read that first. Welcome in, mate. Hope you're well. And the last clue of this puzzle. Sufficient, but not much more. You want the 3rd letter. Sufficient, but not much more. Seeing anyone with 40. Innes doing the best with 35. 10 seconds to check your answers now. No more answers from the main game. But 20 seconds to crack the Cryptex if you would like to have a go. -10 if you're wrong, though. Oh, Clive's swing and a miss with half the letters. Bad luck there. Quite a few green lights coming on. Can you work it out from the information you've got? You don't have to have solved them all, but you might have enough information. Let's see, any more for any more. The solution was feedback. Well done if you got that. Prominent part of a grandfather clock's a pendulum, where we got the D. Also a drum and bass band. A keyboard is a typing device, from where we got the A. A mythological serpent that can kill with its stare with the basilisk, from where we got the K, or a basilisk possibly. A familiar is where we got the F, for an animal sidekick for a wizard. The playground game where one jumps over another is leapfrog, from where we got the E, not hopscotch. Often served in prison, that would be a sentence, from where we got the C. Argue over something unimportant, that's a squabble from where we got the B. Sufficient but not much more would be adequate from where we got the E. That's the end of puzzle 1. I beg your pardon, Mark did have a perfect board there. He must have snuck that in without me noticing and is on 60. Podo and Inca tied up in second with 55. Toot and Jogging and Ardenfet's all on 50. Ryan Watson's got 45. AB, Me and Shapes and BC all on 44. Ramsey on 35 and Stilgar on 29. That's the top row at the end of the first puzzle. Same rules. Here we go again. Reaction that's responsible for browning. Reaction that's responsible for browning. Second letter. This is one I had to go and look up. And so well done if you are getting this one. No worries if not, here's another clue. Viking vessel on the third letter. You're wrong, you can have another attempt. It's a 1 point penalty. Also, you get 1 point penalty if you do repeat any of the answers you've already given. Common type of altar painting, such as the Garden of Earthly Delight. It's 8 letters long, and remember, spelling does count in this game. Well done if you can spell this one. Whenever I hear this, I'm just reminded of Facejacker and Brian Badundu. I'm here at the Blackheath Ballery in Blackbeard to talk about art. Ship steerer, a bit of a ship theme here, who traditionally sits facing backwards. 5th letter. This is ramping up the difficulty ever so slightly in this second puzzle. Worship building for Sikhs. 4th letter. Some of us up on our religious buildings. I don't know if you've gotten that or any of the others. Remember, you can attempt any of the past clues up until the 10-second break at the end. A festive projectile with one you want the first letter. Festive projectile. A fighter aircraft of World War II. On the 6th letter. Fighter aircraft of World War II. Sam's the 7 for 7. I think he's the only one. Shape's also 7 for 7. I beg your pardon. Last clue then. Annual film festival that takes place in Utah. You want the 7th letter here. And Samster has cleared up his board. So he should be able to crack the Cryptex no problem. Likewise, Shapes, getting 8 for 8. Innocent 2 sat on 7. Mark also sat on 7. There's your time up. Look at what you've got. See if you can work it out if you don't have all the letters. 8 letters in this Cryptex puzzle. Solve it now if you'd like. 20 points if you're right, minus 10 if you are wrong. Penalty for Oxymath there for a wrong answer. And the solution was a sandwich. Reaction that's responsible for browning is Maillard, from where we got the A. The Viking vessel, of course, is a longboat, from where we got the N. Common type of altar painting, such as the Garden of Earthly Delights, is a triptych. A coxswain is the ship steerer who sits facing backwards, from where we got the W. A gurdwara is where Sikhs go to worship, from where we got the D. A festive projectile, of course, is a snowball, from where we got the S. Fighter aircraft of World War II would have been a Spitfire, from where we got the I. And the annual film festival that takes place in Utah is the Sundance Film Festival, from where we got the C. That's the end of puzzle 2. Mark with a lead of 115. Innes now in second with 109. Shapes in third with 104. We've then got Toot on 102. Apodo on 91. Ramsey's got 89. Jogging on 88. Samster on 77. Ryan's got 65. Amy's got, and Shadowmane both have 62. And Mr. Vertigo has 59. And apologies coming in from Dogfish for the Viking longboat toss-up. What was the other one that it could have been? I probably should know that. But yeah, apologies if you had a point penalty there. I thought firework for festive. I did think, yeah, maybe firework. Festive is one I would associate with Christmas, I guess, but that's a fair point. Common Cold War projectile. Very good. Dogfish, yeah, welcome to the stream formally, Dogfish. Round 2 is combination. Same rules as before, except each clue is now a combination of 2 words, ending the first word being blended with the beginning of the second word. At least 2 of the letters will overlap. Sometimes more, might be 3, but at least 2 of them will overlap. So you could have a poke hand of 5 hearts and bar black blank, that would be flush, and sheep overlap at least 2 of the letters to make an 8-letter mashup word, flusheep in this case. As before, take the index letter, the index number indicated, and pop it into that slot of the Cryptex. The Cryptex word at the end, just a reminder, will be a real word. It will not be a mashup of 2 words. Only the 8 clues of the game are mashups of words. And remember, this is one where if you can solve half of the clue, you might still be able to get and crack that Cryptex at the end, even if you don't get the points for it. So it's worth making notes, even if you've only gotten half of them. But yes, do bear that in mind. The Cryptex will be a real word. Let's play. New York is the big one, and a promise. You got the 8th letter. Overlap those 2 words to make an 8-letter nonsense word of the Pokemon round. This is sometimes affectionately referred to as. On we go. Zodiac sign for May and June, and Despicable Me advertising gimmick. Most people probably able to work out the second half. Does that give you clues to the first one? If you don't know your zodiac sign, have a think about it. You can still answer it. Moving on. Marine animal on the flag of Anguilla, possibly Anguilla. And also, it's a clue. Overlap them. What do you get? A foul stench and previously a theory on the transfer of diseases, mashed together with sting or casual slang for clever. On words, somewhat inebriated, and Hitchcock film which notably used chocolate syrup. Somewhat inebriated, just slightly. There goes another glass. And we go Badler Blank Park with a capacity of 2,245 megawatts and voice box. Mash those 2 words together, overlap at least 2 letters. What do you get? Slightly tricky one here. Onwards, vocabulary, and its volume can be calculated as pi r squared h over 3. That should be a pi symbol on the screen, by the way. Hopefully, it has come up in the Twitch chat, which is good. But this font doesn't like the pi symbol, apparently. Vocabulary, and its volume can be calculated as pi r squared h over 3. Next, the universe and a way of absorbing knowledge. You got the second letter. The universe and a way of absorbing knowledge. This is the final clue of this puzzle. Took getting 8 for 8 here. Samster just missing out, settling for 7. Innes with 7. Mark with 7. Shapes with 6. Ramsey with 6. Have you got enough information there? 20 seconds to solve the Cryptex. Remember, this will be a real word, not a mashup. You might be able to work it out from what you've got. You may not be able to. Bonus points abound. Mr. Vertigo losing 10 for a wrong one there. Amy, well done solving it with just 5 clues. Maybe you had some others that you couldn't get the second half of, but you got your 20 points. And the solution was dopamine. New York is a big one. That's Apple and Pledge for Appledge. Gemini and Minion, Geminion, from where we got the I. Dolphin and Hint, Dolphint, from where we got the D. Oh god, I can't even read that one. Miasma and Smart for Miasmart. Tipsy and Psycho for Tip Psycho. Solar and Larynx for Solarynx. Lexicon and Cone, Lexicone. And finally, Cosmos and Osmosis, Cosmosis. was that's a really good one. Cosmosis, I like that a lot. Mark in the lead with 170. Inca just behind on 164. Toop just behind that on 162. Shapes with 154. Ramsey 139. Apodo 135. Samster 127. Jogging 123. Amy 107. BC's on 91. Nando's on 85. And Clive is on 83. More of the same. Here's another mashup puzzle. Starting with subject to the fourth commandment and cleanse. Then the verb to cleanse. And the next. It's a really big count, I will add, of people. And it's rolled at a bar. It's a really big count of people. And it's rolled at a bar. Mash them up. Take the sixth letter of that mashup. Tricky one. A Hindu festival and Grafton's A is for blank. Mash them up. Take the eighth letter of the mashup. What do you get? Again, ramping difficulty up just a little bit for this second puzzle. On we go. Biscuit, dovetail, or rabbet, and purpose. You want the first letter. Biscuit, dovetail, or I think it's pronounced rabbet. Might be rabbit. And purpose. The purpose. Podo getting first and last. On we go. Seed husks separated by threshing and influence something. To influence something. Third letter of this mashup. Next, copper plus watt equals brass, and a tooth found at the front of the jaw. You want the second letter. Mash them up and take the second letter. Ooh, interesting. Could there be there's a little red herring going on in there? On we go. Person for which something is named and nature spirit. You want the fourth letter. Maybe you can come back to previous puzzles even if they're no longer displayed. Person for which something is named and nature spirit. An extra clue for you. I'm very, very happy about the first half of this clue because it involves one of my favourite words, or part of one of my favourite words. Last clue of the puzzle. A sandwich sausage and a small buzzing insect. Mash them up and you want the fifth letter. Okay, sneaky answers coming in at the last second there. 10 seconds to check your workings. Not a huge number of blue, though. Mark has got 7 out of 8. Very well played there. Have you got the half that you couldn't, or does the other half that you couldn't get help? Anyone going to crack this Cryptex? 20 points if you can. Minus 10 if you're wrong. Is it just going to be Mark? Anyone else going to chance it? Could be a first. Just one solving it. Very well done, Mark. It was Jiangxi. Jiangxi. Sabbath and bathe for sabathe. Where we've got the H. Really big count of people and it's rolled at a bar. Census and sushi. Sensushi. Diwali and alibi. Divalibi. A joint and intent. Jointent. Chaff and affect. Chaffect. It's quite nice. It's zinc and incisor, what we wanted there. Zincisor. Eponym and nymph for epinymph. And finally, baloney and nat. Balonat. I think. That's how you pronounce that mashup. Oh, was there an error in there, Dogfish? We apologise for the error. JIA. Well, Mark has got the lead. 2-2-4. Oh, it's copper and tin is bronze. It was copper and tin is brass, wasn't it? Copper plus blank equals brass. Yeah, copper and tin is bronze, possibly. Either way. Round 3 is Cryptex. I think it was fine as well in a just tricky, which is fine. That's allowed. In this round, all you've got to do is crack the Cryptex as quickly as possible. Don't submit answers to the clues. It's very important. Don't submit answers to the clues. Only crack the Cryptex. Chorizo, mosquito, chorquito, attempt. Valiant. The whole word's got to overlap there, Sam. somehow. The beginning of the Cryptex is worth 55 points. Clues revealed every 15 seconds. Each clue drops the value of the Cryptex by 5 points. You've got a single attempt. An incorrect answer will earn you 1 point for each letter in the correct position. So when it comes to the end, you might as well take a punt. This is the final round. Only 3 Cryptexes remain. And I will say that all of the clues, certainly in this first puzzle, have got 9 letters, I believe. Yeah, 9 letters. So you shouldn't be able to accidentally solve them. But if you type something that happens to be 8 letters as an answer to a Cryptex, then it will take it as your Cryptex attempt. So don't try and solve these clues. Just crack the Cryptex. For 55 points, the category is a city with 8 letters. Oh, BC's going for glory. It's not worked out. You're frozen out for the rest of the puzzle, BC. Bad luck. For 50 then. It keeps your ticker ticking. 9 letters. You want the 8th. Don't solve this on its own. Just take the 8th letter of the answer and pop it into that slot of the Cryptex. Moving on for 45 points. 1954 board game replicating the First World War with a heavy focus on alliances and negotiations. Jogging has got there for 45 points. That is an early solve. A very, very impressive one that's going to shoot you up the leaderboard right up into 4th place at the moment, Jogging. Well played. For 40 points, emotionally cleansing. 9 letters, you want the 5th. Remember, we are after a city. A city. Maybe me giving it a go for 40. Unfortunately not working out. Likewise for Colo. More clues coming up for 35 now. Central part of R&R. 9 letters, you want the 1st. And a message from our sponsor, Oni.
Buenos noches. I'm watching from Tupub.
I was going to say, I didn't think you were here tonight. Thank you for the 100 bits, Odie. Enjoy the pub. And we'll look forward to your bidding war pack a bit later on. On to the next. True Believer. 9 letters. You want the 2nd. And Mark has got there for 30. Well played, Mark. Shapes is right behind him, also for 30. And Innes has now got there for 30 as well. Remember, you're after a city. Shadowman giving it a go and missing for 25 points. Beat a rather rapid retreat. 9 letters. You want the 7th. Ramsey's there now. Well played. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 now solving. Nando's getting there for 25 points. Well played. On to the next for 20 points. Remove dead skin from. 9 letters. You want the 6th. 2 has shot and missed. He's not got to the right answer. And in spirits. Yes, here in spirits and in spirit. Very nice. Amy solving for 20. Last clue for 15 points. US Intercity Bus Company. 9 letters. You want the 3rd. This is the last clue. Clive has got there for 15. 10 points if you can solve now. Podo's got there. Have a guess if you don't know. You get 1 point for every letter in the right place, so you might as well try something. If you've solved any of the clues, they're still worth points if you can solve it at this point. Throw something in, it might stick. Sam's going to hate himself. Adelaide was the answer. Aussie city of Adelaide. Pacemaker keeps your ticker ticking. Diplomacy is the board game for those who like the idea of risk but think that surviving by placing everything on Siam is a bit much. Cathartic was the next one. Then Ampersand is the middle of R&R. True Believer is Ideologue. Skedaddle is to beat a rather rapid retreat. Exfoliate is to remove dead skin from. And Greyhound is the US Intercity Bus Company. Well done if you solved that there, Mark, with quite a commanding lead. 254. Innocent second, 214. Shapes in third, 192. For 55 points, the category is an animal. Chardonnay, go for glory. Not getting there. And only welcome to the stream. I'll say that so I can tick you off on my visitor app. BC's having another go. He's not got there for 55. Bad luck for us now the rest of the puzzle. For 50 points now, Crop Protector. 9 letters. Once again, 9 letters. You just want the first here. Don't try and solve these clues. You got 1 point that time. That's something. Still on the top row for now as well. For 45 points, Fall Guy, 9 letters. You want the 3rd. Remember, we're looking for an animal. All these letters into the right slots. A slow burn this round. You've got to take your time. Oh, a few more swings and misses. For 40 points, Friend of Dorothy or Economical with the Truth, for example. 9 letters. You want the 4th. So people attempting to solve this animal. Nobody quite getting there yet. For 35 points. And I'm wrong. There's 2. The first to solve. Not sure if it was 40 or 35 you got in for there, but well done. It can be Harvard or Chicago style. 9 letters. You want the 2nd. A burial site. For 30 points. You want the 5th letter. Not a Cat, welcome to the stream. Great to have you with us. Hope you're keeping well. And for 25 points, just 2 solving so far. Gypsum carving material, 9 letters. You want the 8th. Remember, we're after an animal. Bod, welcome to the stream. Good to have you with us. For 20 points, Doctor's Call, 9 letters. You want the 7th. Anybody else? For 15 points, this is the final clue, so have a guess now if you're not sure. Funambulist requirement. 9 letters, you want the 6th. Remember, we're after an animal. These letters do add up to an animal. It's a recognisable animal. It's not a really obscure one. Have a go. Points for every letter in the right place, even if you're wrong. 10 points if you can solve it now. Innes has got there. Clive has got there for 10. Just the 3 by the looks of it. Last couple of seconds. It was a seahorse is what we wanted. Scarecrow is a crop protector. A scapegoat is a fall guy. A euphemism is a friend of Dorothy or economical with the truth. A reference can be Harvard or Chicago. Mausoleum is a burial site. Alabaster is the gypsum carving material. Diagnosis is a doctor's call. Prognosis would also have worked there as the same thing. Tightrope is a funambulist's requirement. And citation misses the letter count. Clue is singular for that reason on reference. Just a note for you there. Final puzzle of the game. Mark with the lead. Toot is chasing him by 30 points. The category is television. You have got 55 points if you can solve it now. And yes, Bod, welcome on into the stream. Noted geographic feature of Oklahoma and Florida for the second letter. 9 letters long. You want the second letter of this one. 50 points. Bod, if you're able to stick around, I'd be interested if you have any feelings on the new bidding war, which is coming up a bit later on, probably in about 40 minutes. If you're able to stick around for that, I would value your input. One who's holding a seat. 9 letters, you want the 6th for 45 points now. Not that I wouldn't value everybody's input, because I would. I'm very open to suggestions and feedback from the new bidding war, very much so, but it's sort of Bod's area professionally, so in particular look forward to some advice from him, if he's able to play. 9 letters long, you want the 3rd. Ancient script used in Sumer. And moving on for 35 points, 9 letters long, you want the 8th. Railway rotator. Nobody has solved yet. Be quiet, Odie. Not digging, just clarifying my position. And 30 points, the last point at which 2 could potentially tie. Gravity-powered timer. 9 letters, you want the 1st. Just 1 letter in the right place, and that is GG to Mark, who's going to take the gold. Ramsey, the first to solve for 30 points. Taking up to 215, might be enough for their degree medal. For 25 points, illegal inebriations. 9 letters, you want the 4th. There's a couple of solves now. Nando and Mark getting it for 25, well played. Former name of Eswatini, 9 letters, you want the 5th. This was the one, and it doesn't force it to uppercase, it turns out, Dogfish. We have some contention over where the capital letter goes in Eswatini. Dogfish thought it was on the S, but then apparently they've changed it back. 15 points, final clue of the game. Make something seem good for the planet. 9 letters, you want the 7th. Are you oying me, Topper? It's not, but yeah, we'll talk about it in a minute. 10 points if you can solve now. 1 point for every letter in the right place. So you might as well try something. Type something, you get some points. Points equal pennies in this game. The solution was Hannibal was the TV show. Panhandle is the geographic feature. Incumbent is one who's holding a seat. Cuneiform is an ancient script used in Sumer. A turntable is a railway rotator. An hourglass is a gravity-powered timer. Moonshine is illegal inebriations. Swaziland is the former name of Eswatini. And greenwash is looking at you, BP. Make something seem good for the planet. that is the end of the puzzle and the end of the round and the end of the game. And after all that, the bronze medal goes to Toot with 230, the silver to Innes with 239, but with a whopping 284. The gold medal goes to Mark. Very well played. Top players there, and congratulations to everyone else who's come out with pennies out of the back of that, which is everyone. Hooray! Hooray! He is there. Sorry. Gameplay pennies are multiplied factor of 1, so it's 1 penny per point that you've got there. But cost of living crisis means I'm going to extend that to 3. 3 pennies for every point that you've got come the end of... come the credits rolling in just a minute. I love this game. I'm also middling at best at this game. It's a really weird one, Cryptex. It sort of splits the room in terms of whether people seem to have the love or hate. I think it's because it's very crosswordy. So I think it appeals to... It's not quite as bog standard quiz as something like The Escape Artist, for example. But... yeah, I think it's still very much a favourite among people. It's one that could probably benefit with a refit, with a custom client app, and it is probably going to be the next one on the agenda after the one I started and nearly finished this weekend, which I'll talk about a bit later on. When you're the only one to go to Cryptex and around, you're going to go far. Yeah, that's very true. Dogfish, very many thanks for that question, Pat. I don't know if there were... You said there were maybe 1 or 2 things that snuck through there. I'm not sure about that brass one. Copper plus zinc is brass. Plus you had the second half of the clue, tooth found at the front of the jaw. What was it people thought it was? Because it was zinc and incisor. Did people think it was tin? Oh, I suppose you could have tin sizer, couldn't you? Yeah, I see. Yeah, because that overlaps 3 letters, so I can see why people got upset with that. And actually, I think that's a perfectly valid question. Copper plus tin makes copper, tin alloys, or tin bronzes. And we were looking for copper plus blank equals brass. So I think you were okay there, Dogfish. Managed to look at the wrong webpage. People thinking tin, which is bronze. Now I've actually thought about it. Yeah. Traditional and modern makeups for brass. Actually, that's very true. You did just say when I flagged up there the number of different alloys. So a slightly upsetting question maybe if you went for tin sizer rather than zin sizer. Tin and incisor rather than zinc and incisor. But... copper and tin is bronze, zinc is brass. So says my metallurgy degree. Well, we have to defer to superior knowledge here. Ramsey and his metallurgy degree. I was certainly happy with that, and I thought there was a good level of challenge in it as well, but still something for everyone. So very, very many thanks, Dogfish, for that pack. But we've got even more quiz coming up. It is just after 9 o'clock. I'm going to go and get another drink. I'm going to play some adverts, so if you're not subscribed, you will see some adverts, but don't worry, because we won't start the next game without you, and I know it's a very much a fan favourite coming up after the break. It's Distinction, as written by Jogging, and is a really good fun pack to look forward to. So I do hope you'll come back and join me for some Distinction after the break. And then coming up a little bit later on, probably in about 45 minutes time, will be the first public unveiling of new Bidding War 2, which is a real missed opportunity for styling, considering it's sort of about war, but it's just going by the name Bidding War. But I'd be very grateful for all of you, for your feedback on this. It does use its own custom client app that I don't think is mobile compatible, but you're very welcome to test it out if you'd like. But desktop is probably preferable, and hopefully it'll be a nicer experience than the staring at TwitchLib. Bidding Twar, wagering battle, yes, indeed. But we've got that's all to come in about 45 minutes' time. Before that, it's Distinction by Jogging, and a really good fun pack that we're going to look forward to playing in just a minute. I'm going to roll the credits. Those pennies and medals will be credited 3 times your score for your penny count, which... cost of living and all that. But don't go away, because in about 5 minutes' time, we'll be back with Jogging's Distinction Pack. We'll see you shortly, and congratulations again to Mark, our Cryptex champion. And after the break, we will be back with Jogging's Distinction Pack. Great fun pack to look forward to, so I do hope you will stick around and join us. Thanks again to Dogfish for that Cryptex pack. I'll put some bonus pennies in and roll some ads. We'll be back in about 3 or 4 minutes. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. And Hex and Gale, yes, it was Papyrus, very much so, and welcome to the stream. You're well. It's Distinction! And it feels really weird not to then go, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, because we normally start with Distinction. But of course, Cryptex supersedes that. It was decided very early on that if we play Cryptex, it must be like the first feature game of the night, because it is so intense on the brain, as it were. But okay, it's Distinction. Good evening, good evening, good evening, or welcome back to the second half of this evening's game night. It's H Game Sam, so welcome to the stream. Formally, hope you are keeping well. Let's put another brick in the wall if you'd like to come and play. Once again, this game is all done through Twitch chat. And you need to whisper all your answers to Persephone's Twitch. But apologies if you can hear the dogs going mad in the background. The shop's just arrived, so Mrs. Flush is dealing with that. No Hackbox implementation for this. Not yet, it's H Games. This one probably wouldn't get Hackbox. When this gets redone, which it will, this will get its own client app because it's a typey game, and Hackbox isn't great for typey games because of autofocus on the box. And plus, I'm having a lot of fun with this headless controller that Ash has sent me. You'll get to see it in action in Bidding War in a bit. But no, I'm afraid no Hackbox implementation just yet. Yes, second half of 3, that's right. What's this game about, Hex and Gale? Well, it's sort of a bit like Pointless, I suppose. You've got to go for answers either... Well, basically go for answers that you don't think anyone else is going to go for, essentially. I've just bumped the multiply factor, so whatever your points are at the end of this, you'll get 3 times that in pennies. So it's a bit like Pointless, Hex and Gale. You've got to go for answers that you think no one else is going to, and the more rare the answer is, the more points you get. It would probably be my elevator pitch for it. Sonny Marine, welcome to the stream. Good to have you here. Ben Armstrong, yeah, something like that. I can do my Alexander Armstrong impression. I say, good morning. Welcome to Classic FM with me. Hey, hope you're keeping well. And fast typing as well. Nando, yeah, that's quite right. I don't know, he sounds like a sort of weird conglomeration of Christopher Lee and Ian McKellen, doesn't he? Alexander Armstrong. Alexander Miller. No, that was, yes, Ben Miller, wasn't it? Armstrong and Miller. Fast typing, very important. No one else has commented, you may have noticed it, but when the opening titles rolled and then it cuts to the lobby screen, the shade of yellow very subtly changes. And I will give 50 pennies to the first person who can tell me why that is. Yeah, I bet you only didn't even notice until I pointed it out. Next time I roll the titles, you will notice that. And I might even point it out before. I think we're playing it on the finale. Poor aesthetic, poor hydration, no. To make it look nice, no. Scene change, no. Good guess, AB me. Closest so far. What was the question again? Why does the shade of yellow very subtly change when I go from the titles to Distinction, to the lobby? I stopped on the title, let's look at it. No. Oh, this is fun. A question that we don't immediately know the answer to. Couldn't replicate the hex code. Good guess, but no, it's not that one. Because of a coding thing. That's kind of correct, but not specific enough. Noise shader. No, it's not a noise shader. Nothing to do with shaders. And the indicator of the room is... I mean, that's a good sort of side effect of it, a podo, but no, that's not it. Looks weird with the N and the T in distinction. Not that, because it's the same... I think it's broadly the same colours used in the title sequence. But Stars and Soul have a shine for you. Kinetic Pixel copyright the other shade of yellow. In which case, it'd be out of the titles as well, wouldn't it, too? Ah, you see. Copied another game for the intro, but on the front of this game. No! There's a very, very bespoke title sequence for Distinction. Very distinct title sequence. Naked Grandma, welcome to the stream. Great to have you with us. No, I've got a sort of stock title and credit sequence in my template, but credits sometimes get recycled from other games, but titles are generally always unique in some way. Nice shadow. No, I will tell you the answer. The answer is because the title is in. Actually, what is the answer? That's it. Because the opening titles are in UI, but this lobby is actually in 3D space, and because I'm not using a world space canvas for my overlay, because I'm not using a camera canvas for my overlay, I'm using a world space canvas, it doesn't have any the user interface. It's basically in 2D mode, think of it. So this lobby is in 3D mode, and if I actually show you, just make sure there's nothing on here that is actually I'd have to take the game screen down, wouldn't I? So there is the and you can actually see you're technically on the floor. So, yeah, that's where the camera is at the moment. Well, the camera's been probably moved up to there, but you're technically on the floor in 3D world space in the lobby. But in the titles, it's on a canvas, which doesn't have any post-processing affecting it. So here we've got a slight vignette and probably some chromatic aberration around the edges as well, which changes the shade of yellow. So there you go. Feel dizzy now? Yes, showing you behind the scenes. You're all on the floor. Hit the floor. Why is it in 3D? There's a very good reason, Topper. I can't for the life of me remember what it is now. There's a very good reason. It's something to do with... I think it was before I realised I could do a camera canvas. It's because I wanted post-processing effects, I think, on the bricks in the wall, which doesn't sound like the right answer, actually. I don't know. I can't remember why I did it this way. Oh, 3D's easy. Easy peasy. I find 3D much easier than 2D. Well, I probably don't now, but I find 3D much more cathartic than 2D. Right, that's enough chit-chat. Let's get on with the game. It's a pack by jogging. Let's play Distinction. That, I think, is also in 3D space, which is why it's the same shade of yellow. Okay, here we go. Fingers on keyboards, gang. It is time for round number 1. We have got 3 boards, and each of these boards contains 10 answers. Exactly 10 will fit the criteria. All you've got to do is type in the correct answers as quickly as you possibly can. No penalties for wrong answers, but only the first person to say each answer will get credited for it. You get 20 points if you find one. You can find a maximum of 3. After that, you won't be able to give me any more, which means base points up for grabs is 60. There are also 3 bonuses secreted amongst this grid, 1 on each board, which are worth, if you can find them, 30 points. So technically, you've got 90 points up for grabs if you can find all 3 of the bonuses with 1 on each board. Your answers, you can give me either 1 from each board, 1 from one and 2 from another, or all your answers can come from the same board. It's entirely up to you, but remember, only the first person to type the answer will get credited with that answer. So big points available, but a limited number of answers. Secreted, is that another word I said? I stopped saying accessible because everyone mocked me for it. But so yeah, secreted is my new word. Secreted and eponymous and accessible. There we go. There's a raid message if we need one. Secreted, eponymous, accessible. Nice. Fingers on keyboards, gang. 60 seconds on the clock. And your categories for the first round are... the 10 greatest Britons in history, according to the 2003 televised poll run by the BBC. Excluding the ones in Brazil, the 10 largest populated cities in South America, according to worldpopulationreview.com. And the top 10 sports brands ranked by sales in 2022. So, answers coming in. We found 1 bonus. Toot has found Isaac Newton over on the left-hand side. That was a bonus. There's another bonus on the middle, and there's another bonus on the right. Nando with the lead of 60 at the moment. I think he's the only one to have found all 3. Keep pressing and guessing. Under half your time. There's another one. Toot finding Charles Darwin there. There's Cromwell in his to tie the top. And Toot finding his third. John Lennon and takes the top there. Very well played. Any more for any more? Last 5 seconds if you're quick. And there's the final whistle, and that's your time up. Fast and Furious is the name of this game. Let's take a look at the answers that you missed. Horatio Nelson was the only one of the greatest Britons that you didn't get. He's the one on the column, I believe. Bonus answer there was behind Isaac Newton. Well done to Toot. Finally, that the only bonus answer being found in this round. 4 missing answers from the South American cities. Guayaquil, Medellin, Maracaibo, and Cali. Tricky answers there. I must say, I've not heard of a couple of those. So, but well done to everyone else who found some answers there. Caracas, La Paz, Santiago, Lima, Buenos Aires, and Bogota. However the hell you pronounce it. And the top 10 sports brands ranked by sales in 2022. Colombia, Lululemon, and Jordan were the missing answers. But well done for the ones that you did find. Adidas, Puma, Asics, Nike, Reebok, New Balance, and Under Armour. Or Nike and Adidas, if you prefer to say them that way. That's the first round. Those are the points. Let's clear the board and check out the scores. So that we're a quarter of the way through the game. Fewer than half the players getting points in that round, but that's often the way that first round is. Very fast and furious. The bulk of your points are going to come in this next round, but Toot with an early lead of 70. Nando and Innes are on 60. BC and Zeus on 40. A smattering of players there on 20. And just over half of the gang yet to score. But don't worry, still got plenty of time. If you want to come and join the game, now is the opportunity to do that. You can only join in between rounds. And there we go. We're going to move right on to round number 2. I love a bit of Dixieland. Right, here we go. In round 2, you're going to be shown 3 boards, and each of these boards has exactly 5 answers. You need to give me 1 answer per board. That's it, just a single answer per board. But what you're looking for is A, a correct answer, because if it's not correct, you're not going to get any points. There is a spell checker, but I can't override, so do double check before you press enter. So you've got 30 seconds to give me 1 answer, lots of time to think about it. So A, it needs to be correct, and B, you want to say an answer that fewer people are going to say. The rarer the correct answer, the more points you get. Okay, so think of the answer that you think no one else is going to say and play that one. Or then think, hang on, everyone else is going to say this answer, which is really, really obscure. So I'm maybe going to go for the most obvious one. That's the sort of gamesmanship that is up for grabs here. A range of 10 to 50 points, or 0 if you give me a wrong answer, available in this round for each of the 3 puzzles. It means there's 150 you could walk away from out of the end of it. So, 1 answer whispered to the bot, and you're trying to think of the rarest one, and there are exactly 5 in each round. Welcome to the stream, Aaron Stockdale. It's too late to join this round, but you can join when we go back to the lobby screen at the end of this round, where you'll be very welcome to come and join us, and I hope you're keeping well. Fingers on keyboards then, gang. Here is the first board. We are looking for one of the 5 emotions in the Kubler-Ross model, also known as the 5 stages of grief. There are exactly 5. I just want one, but the one that you don't think anyone else is going to say. Silent Marine, AB Me, need an answer. There's AB Me, Silent Marine, there we go. Lovely sea of orange right there. Beautiful, everyone got an answer in. Well, hopefully we all got a correct answer. Let's take a look. Oh my goodness, my gracious. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We have got an exact spread here, which is very nice to see. So there were no answers that had the same number of people saying it, if that makes sense. 11, 10, 5, 3, and 2 were the total counts. And how many players have we got? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 8, 16, 36. I literally hope you die. Fucking hell. People do this down this road. They put boy racers with fire coming out of their exhaust. Did you hear that on stream? Jeez. Madness. Some people. Anyway, I get very cross about that. Anyway, there's 36 players in by the looks of it, and 21, 26, 27, 28, 31. So it looks like there's going to be 5 wrong answers in here. Yeah, I can imagine that being very scary. Vroom, vroom. Anyway, let's take a look at any wrong answers that have come in. Grief, just 3, I can't count. Grief, pain, and guilt are not on the Kubler-Ross model, I'm afraid. Puzzle Dan, yellow anonymous person, and Colo, sorry, I don't recognise you from your avatar. You're not going to get any points for that. But everyone else, well done. You've got at least 10 points. So let's go through them, because you have found all 5 answers. 11 players getting 10 points each for saying bargaining. Well done. Yes, bargaining, which is the 3rd of the 5 stages of grief. Shadow, Jake Pawson, Silent Marine, Shapes, Zeus, Toot, Innes, Nando, Mark, Natta, and Nikograma, all getting 10 points. Very well done. 10 players getting 20 points each said acceptance, which is the 5th and final stage of the Kubler-Ross stages of grief. Ramsey Fox, Poda Nuevo, Loctibus, Hexengale, Sam, Mantissa, Amy, BC, Stilgar, and Clive all picking up 20 points. Well done there. For the next one, just 5 players saying this. Anger, it's the 2nd of the 5 stages. AB Me, Samster, Tyson, Arun, and Kjarvs all picking up 30 points for anger. Very well done. Just 3 players going for this next one for 40 points each. Denial, it is the 1st of the 5 stages. Prugs, Mr. Vertigo, and Jers all picking up 40 points. Which means 2 players are getting 50 points as the only 2 people to say Depression. Topper and Ardenfetz, the fourth of the 5 stages, Depression. Very well played, 50 points. Yes, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance are the 5 stages of the Kubler-Ross model. Very well played. Big points going out there. Nice to see most players getting some points. Let's clear that board and go on to the next one. Now, I will say on this next one, in the question, there is the name of a film. All of your answers must include that word. If you just put the other part of what we're looking for, it won't count it, and I can't override it at the moment. That'll be improved when I remake it. Okay, so there'll be the name of a film / character in the category as part of your answer, and it'll make sense when you see the question, but you must include that as part of your answer. Full film. Absolutely, Hex and Gale. So, 30 seconds on the clock for the 5 answers that we're looking for here. You want the rarest one, and the question is... Name any of the 5 live-action Batman films whose name features the word Batman, released between, but not including, 1989's Batman and 2022's The Batman. And when you give your answer, include the word Batman. A lot of clarification needed on this one. Oh, just belt and braces, you know. So, looking for a Batman film with the word Batman in, released between 1989 and 2022, but not including those 2. Oh, Naked Grandma and Jake Paulson. Not sure if you got an answer in time. We will see in just a minute. You have covered all 5 answers, and there is a tie for 20 points. So it's going to go 10, 20, 20, 40, 50 for 9, 8, 8, 6, 2. Batman in the Iron Mask. Jurassic Batman. I like these. Let's take a look at some wrong answers, and apologies if you've not got through the spell checker. There were quite a few variants. No, just Jake Paulson, who looks like you didn't get an answer in. So everyone else, very well done. You're going to get some points. Let's start with 10 points and 9 players saying it. 1992's Batman Returns. 9 players going for Batman Returns. Directed by Tim Burton, starring Danny DeVito and Michael Keaton as the Dark Knight Caped Crusader. Ramsey, Puzzle Dan, Shapes, Proves, Toot, Colo, Nando, Mr. Vertigo, and Mark all giving me Batman Returns. Very well played for 10 points. Next one. Just one fewer players saying this one. 8 players and getting 20 points each for both of the next 2. Batman and Robin, starring George Clooney as the Caped Crusader and Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, directed by... wasn't Roland Emmerich. It was the same one who did the third one. Oh, piss, what's his name? Joel Schumacher is who I'm thinking of. Joel Schumacher. And yes, the Bat Nipples one. And Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy as well. Apodo, Shadowme, Santamine, Hexengale, Arun, Naked Grandma, Nata, and Jers all going for Batman and Robin and picking up 20 points. Another 8 players and also getting 20 points for... Batman Begins, first of the Christopher Nolan trilogy, released in 2005, possibly, starring Christian Bale as the Dark Knight and Cillian Murphy, aka Oppenheimer, as Scarecrow, and Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul, I believe. ABME, Topper, Lottibus, Tyson Bane, Zeus, Arnfetz, Kejars, and Stilgar all picking up 20 points for that. 8 players sharing it. On to the next one. 6 players saying this and getting 40 points each. Batman Forever, starring Tommy Lee Jones as Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face, and Jim Carrey as the Riddler. Also with a weird cameo from Drew Barrymore, would you believe? And Val Kilmer as the Dark Knight, and introducing Chris O'Donnell, I think, as Robin. And... no, Alicia Silverstone wasn't in until Batman and Robin. Batman Forever, Samster, Optimat, Innis, Clive, BC, and Mantissa all picking up 40 points. Very well played there. Batman and the Chocolate Factory, which means just 2 players have given me the rarest answer here, which is Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice. There was quite a few variants on that. Batman vs Superman on its own would also have been accepted. Dawn of Justice on its own would not have been accepted, but no one said that. So Sam and Amy, very well done. 50 points there. That's the only one of the ones on that list that I haven't seen, but I believe it's Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill as Superman. And is it Zack Snyder? 2014, maybe? Yeah, I'm my Batman knowledge. I haven't got that in trivia. That's just off the top of my head. Other ones that you couldn't have had, obviously, The Dark Knight, 2008, starring Heath Ledger as the Joker. The Dark Knight Rises, 2011, I think. Tom Hardy as Bane and everyone else. Lots of people in that film. That's a lovely, lovely voice. Good for. I love Batman. I should watch more Batman. I still haven't seen the new one, The Batman, yet, which I believe is... that's what's his name from Twilight? What's his pissing name? Jacob. With the one, no, he plays Edward. He plays Edward Cullen. Robert Pattinson, thank you. Robert Pattinson as the Batman in the latest one, and Colin Farrell, I think, as Oswald Cobblepot, and Paul Dano as the Riddler. I think the Bat Myth, the Bat Legend. Anyway, that's it. I'm getting stuck on Batman here, having a lovely time. But we should move on with the quiz. I need to pad on this game a little bit because it is a brief game. We're on to board number 3, and this board I have to congratulate Jonathan because it's got a real. Interesting meta about it, to the point where I will say I would be surprised if anyone gets 0 points unless they think of something that is wrong, possibly. But there's a really interesting meta about this. 30 seconds to give me one answer. Here's the category. Name one of the first 5 rhyming actions in the nursery rhyme 1, 2, Buckle My Shoe, including Buckle My Shoe. So if you're absolutely stuck, you have got an answer there. But who's going to go for it? Very interesting meta. Come on, need an answer. Quick. Maybe me. There you go, nick of time and a sea of orange. Right. Let's take a look. We have got all answers covered, and we've got a tie at the top. There's 2 players getting 50 for 2 different answers. I think we may have some wrong answers here, despite saying there wouldn't be any. Let's take a look. Open the door. No, open the door is not it. Do it again is not it. Lay it straight. I don't feel quite so bad. Lay it straight. It's lay them straight as an answer. 5, 6, pick up stick. Pick up sticks is 1, but we wanted the actions, and let's start again is not an answer. So I feel a little bit mean about possibly a couple of those, lay it straight and 5, 6, pick up sticks, but it is one of those ones where I can't override it. When I do a rebuild, which I might do before we play this again for the finale, then I will make sure that is corrected. 1, 2, Freddie's coming for you, not that one. Which ones am I sure are the same in the US UK? Well, let's take a look and see how you went down. First of all, 11 players getting 20 points each for lay them straight, as in 7, 8, lay them straight. They're the aforementioned sticks that you've picked up, so it's lay them rather than lay it straight. But lay them straight, well done, 20 points for Shadow, Topper, Silent Marine Shapes, Proogs 2, Fett, Arun, Mark, Nando, and Mr. Vertigo. 10 players, each getting 30 points for the answer that was in the question. Buckle my shoe. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. Ramsey, AB Me, Jake Pawson, Samster, Optimat, Tyson, Mantissa, Kjarv, Jurs, and Stilgar. It was a free answer for you. It's worth 30 points if you didn't have anything else. And 10 players have gone for it, so very well done there. Picking up for 1, 2, buckle my shoe. Next one, 6 players, each saying pick up sticks for 40 points. Innis, Natta, Amy, Necogramma, BC, and Clive. Very well done. Yes, 5, 6 pick up sticks. Well done for 40 points. And like I said, we've got a tie at the top. 2 players getting 50 points each for 2 different answers, because they were distinct answers, and they are knock on the door or knock at the door. We've both been accepted there. Colo picking up 50. Well done, the only one to say that. And the other one, so that's 3, 4 knock on the door. And then 9, 10, a big fat hen. That's absolutely right, Mark. And Sam, the only one to go for it, a big fat hen. You're quite right, it's not an action. That's a very good point, that it's not an action. So it would have been then, arguably you could have said dig and dwelve would have been a technically correct answer. But yes, 9, 10, a big fat hen. Well done, Sam, picking up 50 points, and Colo picking up 50. That's all the puzzles from round number 2. We're going to clear the board, and we're going to check out the scores. Curtis's preschool teacher for teaching the wrong lyrics are bastards. Opportunity to join the lobby if you want to. CYZQ, and my goodness me, what an interesting change of the scores. Innis is now at the top with 150. BC and Sam are tied in second with 140, and Amy's in third with 130. If we have a tie, then this ordering does something weird, because it doesn't go in the normal order of reading. It goes left to right, bottom to top, so I get very confused, and then I order it by something. But if we've got a tie, it does a count back however many points you got per round. So if we end up having BC and Sam with 140, the tiebreak metric at the moment would who got more points in round 2, which may have been Sam, because he ended up with 50 twice, which is why this ordering is not working. But that's the countdown. So basically, if we have a tie, then your guess is as good as mine as to who gets into the final, because I'm a poor programmer. To be fair, this was one of the last ones I did. It was the last one I did in Unity 2019, and I felt that was a moment when I moved to Unity 2020. So I felt like that's when I grew up as a programmer, maybe slightly. Anyway, we've got one more round to do before the final, and remember, top 3 players are going to get through to the final, and there's big points still available. Let's go to round 3. Ah, I love this. Anyone like my new Los Pollos Hermanos t-shirt, by the way? It arrived yesterday. I'm a big fan of it. I don't own enough white t-shirts. Most of them are black. But I also got the 3 more Pokemon t-shirts. So there's those ones, the Squirtle squad, and the Bulbasaur squad, and the Charmander squad. So yeah, it's about 3 different styles of t-shirt I've got of the 3 starter Pokemon, because I'm a big nerd. Right, Unity 2020 has COVID. Yeah, no, most of my builds now run in Unity 2020. Anything made in the last sort of 18 months or so. Okay, final round. It's the same as round 1, except this time, rather than having an exhaustive list of 10 answers, you will have up to 10 answers. I think one of them is an exhaustive list, but most of these there might be more than 10, so you've got to get into jogging's head a little bit. But it's worth double points, 40 if you can find a right answer, plus 60 if you can find one of the 3 bonuses. There'll be 1 on each board. As before, you can give me 1 answer from each board, 2 from one and 1 from another, or all 3 from the same board, but only the first player to say each answer will have it credited to them. You can give me a maximum of 3, and I will give you fair warning that one of these requires digits. I think it's the middle board you need to type in digits. 60 seconds on the clock to give me up to 3 answers. There are potentially 180 points available here if you can find all 3 bonuses. Good luck, 60 seconds. Here are the categories. 10 subgenres of metal music. The 10 numbers between 19 and 20 on a traditional dartboard going anti-clockwise and as digits. And 10 ingredients of the Thai green curry I made last week. And there's the darts completed. Unsurprising to see Samson getting all 3 on there. But being denied the bonus, or Run found the bonus. Clive has found the bonus over on the metal board. And we're looking for ingredients in a Thai green curry. So, still over 30 seconds. No more numbers required. We've got half of the subgenres of metal music. And we've got 4 out of 10 of the ingredients made in Jogging's Thai green curry from last week. I never made a Thai green curry. You're the one. You've made like 3 in the last 6 months.
My shoulder enough.
There's the last bonus. Brown sugar for puzzle. Do you have brown sugar in your Thai green curry? Okay, 3 missing answers on the left, 3 missing answers on the right. Mrs. Flush is here, by the way. All 3 bonuses were found. We got that wow sound, brown sugar 4, and thrash. Clive setting his store on the metal music. Samster setting his store on the darts question. And a bit of a hodgepodge over on the Thai green curry. So subgenres of metal that we defined: black, screamo, new, symphonic, speed, death, and thrash. Numbers on a dartboard, easy peasy for you all. Starting from the number 19 and going anti-clockwise, you've got 3, 17, 2, 15, 10, 6, 13, 4, 18, and 1. And the ones you found on the Thai green curry: turmeric, ginger, brown sugar, which is worth the bonus, coconut milk, basil, garlic, and of course chicken. So yeah, Dan getting 2 of the curry ones there. Let's have a look at the answers that you missed on the subgenres of metal: power, doom, and Viking. And over on the other side, courgette also would have accepted zucchini, soy sauce, and red onion. Onion on its own was not enough, specifically red onion that we wanted there. So those are the missing answers, but a very well attended board, has to be said. And yeah, Thai green curry has become a bit of a thing in this house since we realised it's something that we all like. So Mrs. Flush has been making it with alarming regularity in the last sort of 2 or 3 months. We've had like 4. But yeah, there we go. Yeah, a lot of headbanging for that metal board. So that is the end of round 3. So the nuts and bolts of this game are in round 2. 1 and 3 are a blur. But we've got the final to go, and who is going to be in it this week? Let's clear the board and find out. Samster, Clive, and Amy, you are our 3 finalists. Not sure which order Samster and Clive are going to go into. It will do a countback. I think Clive was higher in round 4, so Clive should technically be the first and last to answer. Then Samster, and it's just ordered you in that way, might have done you alphabetically, or because it's going left. I don't fucking know. But it's going to be Samster and Clive and Amy, our 3 finalists this week. For everybody else, thanks for playing, but don't leave because you have a very important role to play in the final. The remaining 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 13, 26, 1, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3. The remaining 33 of you have got a very important role to play. Now, I will say at this point, Samster, Clive, and Amy, you are our gold, silver, and bronze medalists, but not necessarily in that order. BC is currently in the position to be our lobby medalist. And Score Count, welcome to the stream. Left to right, bottom to top in a set. Yeah, it kind of is. It's a bit of a mess, but I wanted the brick effect. So there is a lobby medal for whoever's got the highest score at the end of this. So here's how this is going to work. You get points for doing your answering thing in the lobby game. Our hot seat players cannot get a higher score than what they've got now. They will lose points potentially in the final, but they get what they've got now plus what they end up with in the final. So in theory, our gold, silver, bronze medalists should still be on top of the board, unless our players below do very well, and they do incessantly badly. And I'm giving you 3 times your score in pennies. So if one of our finalists has a particularly good run and potentially ends up with 400 or 500 points, that could be a good payday for you all. So without any further ado, let's get on with the final. It has put Clive into that position. I thought that's how it was. Yes, because Clive had more in round 3 because you had a bonus. You both had all 3 answers covered, but I think Clive had a bonus as well. I think, if memory serves. Might be wrong. Either way, Clive, you're in that position. Now, everybody else, my friends along the top, you are now our distinct friends. You are distinctly friends. What you got to do over the next minute is give me as many answers as you can to the category that will be shown on the final board. Clive, Samster, Amy, don't have to do anything for the next minute, but just give it lots of thought. Don't type anything because nothing will be processed. Players in the lobby game, as before, the rarer your answer, the more points you get. But you can give me a maximum of 5 answers. And I will tell you, there are 16 answers available. You can give me a maximum of 5. No penalty for wrong answers, but once you give me 5, you won't be able to give me any more. As I mentioned, the rarer the answer, so the fewer people in the lobby game who say it, the more points it's worth. But as it gets towards the last sort of 20-30 seconds, if you've only got 3 and you're still trying to think of rare ones, maybe go for some more obvious ones because they might be worth a lot of points, but they'll still be worth points. We will then come to our final 3. We'll go left to right, then right to left. And they have got to try and identify answers to these questions, avoiding the answers that you have said, because the more people in the audience game who said the answer, the fewer or the more points they will lose. You can lose a maximum of 100 points. If you give me a wrong answer, Clive, Samster, or Amy, you lose 100 points. If 20 or more people in the lobby game, which is the distinct possibility, have said it, then you will lose 100 points. It's capped at 100. And again, I will encourage you to check your typing finalists when we get there before submitting your answer, because I can't override it at the moment. So the audience are incentivized to bid for the rare ones, but they might just end up going for the common ones. I think we'll have a lot of fun with this. There are 16 answers available. Good luck, audience. You've got 1 minute to give me 5 any 5 of the 16 playable characters in the poorly received 2001 video game The Simpsons Wrestling. I will accept first name or first name and surname. Surname on its own, unbelievably, will not be accepted. 45 seconds. Clive, Sam, Amy, do be thinking of some answers. Remember, pennies are still available. Toppy, you've already said that. I've just had a debug log saying you tried to say the same answer twice. And Erin, you've tried to say the same answer twice. And Jers, you've tried to say the same answer twice. Although I think I know why that might be, Jers, because possibly one of the ones you put is one character. Okay, 10 seconds. Let's see how many people can get up to 5. Same rationale for you there, Arun. And that's time up. I have to say, that is a lot of green at the top. There's a lot of answers have come in there. I'm not going to count them all now, but my goodness gracious me, there's a lot of 5-pointers up there. And I will tell our hot seat players, you've never watched a full episode of The Simpsons?
Shame.
Goodness me, Prugs. As soon as this stream is finished, go and watch either the monorail episode or the Cape Fear is probably my favourite, the one with HMS Pinafore in it and Sideshow Bob. There we go. Right. I can tell you, hot seat players, there is one distinct answer. There is one answer that nobody out of our 33, I think it is, in our audience game said. One distinct answer. Every other answer has been covered in some capacity, and I will remind you, do double check before you press enter, because I can't override it. Okay, Clive, coming to you first. On 240 points, may I have your first answer, please? Going with Ned Flanders. Hidely ho, neighbourino. Very much the Simpsons character. Was he in The Simpsons Wrestling? He was. That's a correct answer. How many people, though, said Ned Flanders? You lose 5 points for everyone who said it. Let's take a look. Eight players went for Ned Flanders. You're down from 240 to 200. Not bad, considering this was such a well-answered question. 8 people went for Ned Flanders. Samson, you can't give me Ned Flanders. That will count as a wrong answer. On to you. Your first answer, please. Bumblebee Man. Bumblebee Man. Very much a character. Is he in The Simpsons Wrestling? He is. How many people said Bumblebee Man? Just 2. Not a distinct answer, but low scoring. Down to 230. Very well played, Samson. You've taken a clear lead. As we move on to Amy, currently on 210. Amy, can I have your first answer, please? Mo. Mo Sislak, the bartender. Very much a Simpsons character. Was he in The Simpsons Wrestling? Yes, he was. How many people, if any, said Mo? Oh, the audience source is struggling. 16 people said it, and you're down to 130. Those are the medal positions at the moment. Amy, you could still tie if Samster goes 100 and Clive gets 70 or more. But Amy, we're going to go the other way now. A lot of people said that one. Not the most popular answer. What did I say? It was 16. 16 people saying Mo. Not the most popular answer. Quite a few more popular than that. Can I have your second answer, please, Amy? Milhouse. Milhouse, Bart's best friend. Certainly a Simpsons character. Is he in The Simpsons Wrestling? No, I'm afraid he's not. We see the red light. And you lose 100 points, crashing down to 30. It is going to be the bronze medal, Amy, but I hope you've had fun all the same. We come on to Samson for his second answer. If it's now Samson, if this can be 25 or fewer points lost, then you are the gold medal automatically. Or gold medalist automatically. Groundskeeper Willie. Groundskeeper Willie. Correct answer? Scots and other Scots. Scotsman and Englishman. I can't really do a Scottish accent. Groundskeeper Willie is a right answer. How many people said Groundskeeper Willie? Oh, you've dropped below Clive. 8 people said it, losing 40 points. Hello, dear.
Is it auto or have you given me a very quick favour, which I'm sure everyone on the screen might appreciate?
Can we finish the games? We've got one more answer to give.
It relates to Groundskeeper.
Oh, go on then.
Could you do the impression of him when he's got to go into the vents to go and retrieve the dog, and he says to lunch lady Doris, "Have you got any grease?"
No, I can't do that. I don't know what that is.
Grease me up, woman!
Oh.
Then he pulls his shirt off and reveals his rippling muscles.
Grease me up, woman.
Grease me up, woman!
Lathic, welcome to the stream. So, with 40 points gone from that answer from Zamster, you have dropped below Clive. So, remember, Clive, there is at least one distinct answer in this game. And there's a couple with just one. And there's at least one with 2 people said it, but I think that's Bumblebee Man and it's already gone. So, it's not over yet. You're not going to find them. Well, let's see. Clive, your final Krusty. As in Krusty the Clown, the depressed clown. Certainly a Simpsons character. Is it correct? Yes, it is. How many people said Krusty the Clown? More than one, more than two, more than three! Clive, we come down below the 190. 11 people went for it. So you're going to lose 55 points if my math is any good. Which means at the end of the final, it's Amy on 30, Clive on 145. Amy getting the bronze, Clive getting the silver. The gold medalist with 190, it's Samster. GG gang, GG's all round. Gold, silver and bronze medals going to Samster, Clive and Amy right there. There will be a lobby medal available as well. Let's take a look at all the correct answers and how many people said them. So Mo, 16 people going for Mo. 13 went for Bart. 7 went for Barney Gumble. 16 went for Apu. 17 going for Homer. Not our most popular answer yet. 8 going for Ned, which we had earlier on. 18 was the most popular, Lisa. 90 points would have been deducted for anyone saying Lisa. 18 of you going for Lisa there. 2 going for Bumblebee Man, as we heard earlier. Nekka Grandma and Shadowmay, very well played. It's going to be big points for you there. 11 went for Krusty. Now, this was a weird one where people were saying it was coming up where you've already submitted that answer. Mr. Burns and Waylon Smithers are apparently the same character, the same playable character. So we credited it with either Mr. Burns or Waylon Smithers, but you couldn't say the same answer twice. You didn't say Mo, but it was in that list? Really? Trying to think what you might have said that it might have confused it with. Not sure. Mr. Burns has Smithers fight for... there we go. That'll be it then. 17 going for Marge. 8 went for Willie. Can Kodos. Again, it's one or t'other or both, but you can't have both of them as separate answers. Shadowmay, Sam and Innes each getting 3 on that one. 1 going for Itchy. That was Sam is acidic. Very well done. One of the only 1-pointers there. And the other 1-pointer, Frink, which Toot went for. So those are going to be worth big points, those 1-pointers. And the 1-pointless answer, Sam, you're going to be so upset. You got Itchy, but no one went for Scratchy, who was a separate character. So that was a pointless answer. But Itchy was big points, if you got that, as was Frink. So very well done there. So there we have it. So just the lobby medalists to decide. Those are our 3 hot seaters who've done very, very well and are going to get lots of pennies. Let's check out the final scoreboard. Itchy was the last guess. Fair enough. And there we have it. Actually, Sam has got so many points out of that final that he's overtaken Amy, who's 240. Amy, you still got the bronze medal, even though you're a bit further down the wall. But it's Sam who takes the gold with 430. Clive who takes the silver with 385. Hello, Paulister. Just in time for the end of the game. Stick around for bidding war coming up in a minute. And Amy's going to get the bronze with 240. But it's Sam who's going to take the lobby medal with 295. And for everybody who took part, 3 times your points is what you get in pennies. Paulus, welcome to the stream. You're just in time for Bidding War, an all-new Bidding War 2. Many thanks to Jogging for a really, really fun pack. I thought that was going to be a fun pack. I thought it would be quite high-scoring. People have a laugh with it. So really, really great stuff there. So thank you very much to Jogging for that. Well done on all those points. A big high-scoring game. You're gonna leave me bankrupt. So you are. But that's fine, I can live with that. Bronze going to Amy, silver going to Clive, gold going to Samster, lobby medal going to Sam is acidic. 2 Sams getting medals in one game. What are the odds of that? Well, when we come back after the break, we have got the first public airing of all new Bidding War. And just to give you a heads up, it is all done in browser. So you will need to go to... because I can't make it appear on my website and still have dynamic window resizing. You will need to go to persephoneschair.itch.io/bidding war. This is, and Lewis, welcome to the stream. This is an old pack of Onis from about 2 years ago, so we have seen the questions before, but not for a little while. I'm hoping the experience is going to be much smoother, but I am looking for 3 things in particular. Bugs, things that don't work as you think they probably should. Crashes, does your app build? If so, why? And feature requests that you would like to see on the client app end. I have implemented this with some safeguards. So if your app crashes, you should just be able to open up a new browser window. If you rejoin with the same Twitch account, it should just transfer all your data over and you'll be able to carry on. Likewise, I've implemented a recovery mode at this end, so if my computer crashes, stay where you are, don't refresh your browsers, and I can put it in recovery mode and it will just come back to life as it was, fingers crossed. Hopefully, those are not things that we have to deal with, but I'm hoping it's going to make the whole bidding war experience a lot smoother. I'll talk a bit more after the break about other issues that it hopefully has gone some way to solving, because there were some outstanding issues in the first bidding war, and I thought just remaking the game is the best way of combating them. I'll talk about that in a few minutes' time, but it's an old pack of Onis. It's my brand new iteration of bidding war. I do hope that you'll stick around and play. Jogging, thanks again for the pack. Congratulations to our medalists. Well done on winning all those pennies. I'll play some adverts, but I won't start the next game without you. And I'll see you in a few minutes for the war. Thanks for playing Distinction. See you in a minute. And thanks again to Jogging for that pack. Right, a couple of things that I'm going to do. I need to refill my glass. You should do the same. Stay hydrated. We'll go to another ad break. I will play some adverts, but we won't start the next game without you. Hey, ad break 69 is what you need to type if you want 69 bonus pennies. Loading into the software. It's H Games. What OS are you running? Are you running in Mac? Because I haven't done any testing in Mac. And also, yes, the score says, what browser are you running? Because these are important questions that we need to know the answers to in order for me to even try and diagnose it. Okay, Safari, I've not done any testing in Safari. Try Chrome, or possibly Edge or Firefox. I haven't done any testing in Firefox either. I will also stress... Mac Chrome seems okay. Okay, that's good. I will stress that this is still technically... I'll put the camera back on a minute. This is still technically a test game because it's not... It's old trivia that we've seen before. It's not a new pack. This is as good a place as any to test it with a good size audience. So things might break, things might go wrong. I would request, if things do go wrong, could you note them in the suggestions channel of the Discord rather than letting me know in chat? Because if it goes in chat, A, I won't see it, and B, even if I do see it, I won't remember it. So chuck it in suggestions, and then I will definitely catch it if anything goes wrong, or if there's anything else you'd like to see. And you can also say things that you like about it in the discussion section of the Discord if you like. It doesn't all have to be super critical feedback. If you see something you think, this has made everything so much better, I'm more than happy for you to tell me that. Give me some balance rather than just the one side, which can very often be the case. So don't be... it'll be up on the page in a minute, but if you want to get there early, not a cat. It is itch.io/biddingwar. So yeah, give me please say nice things as well. Give me some balance to the things that I probably have to improve. But I will stress, be nice about it because it is still a test game ahead of playing properly in a few weeks' time. I'm going to play some adverts, I'm going to go get another drink, and then we will go to war. See you in a minute. And don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. Bidding War 2, you and me both, Puzzle Dan. Welcome back to the third and final part of this evening's game night. I'm back in the studio for all new Bidding War. And not too stretched, I hope. Welcome to the new Bidding War studio, live from Sussex. Oh, there's new war music, Dan. The theme is still the same, but the the loop is not the same. So here we are. Now, Bidding War is back, and as I've mentioned, you've got a bespoke client app, which will hopefully make the experience much better because you've got bidding to do and answering to do. It's still very much in a testing phase, and I'm curious to hear your feedback, like even things like how long is it taking to load, things like that are important because I don't think it's mobile accessible. As I mentioned, I have got safeguards. If it does crash, you should just be able to open up a new window. If you log in with the same Twitch credentials, then it will allow you to continue with your player. Same if I get a crash at this end, I've got a recovery mode that I've implemented and tested, which should just mean everything comes back as it was to the start of the previous question. Hopefully we don't need to exercise those options, but they should be built in case something does go wrong. There's two big things that I didn't like Bidding War for. Three things that were reasons I thought it was problematic. I can do that, Cola. In fact, let me do that now while I'm chatting with you.
Welcome to Bidding War. To join the game, please visit persephoneschair.itch.io/bidding war and join with the room code DVZR.
Okay, so, she's back. You will need to whisper a one-time password, but that's the only thing you need to do. Whisper a one-time password to the bot just to confirm who you are and link your Twitch account, because that is the thing that does the medals and the pennies, and it also allows me to draw down your avatar, which you will see just there. But that's a really good point, Coda. That should probably open automatically when the game opens. You'll notice there might be some gaps between when players are joining, just because of when you join the game room and when you type in the code. There's just a slight disparity there. So there were about three issues that I had with Bidding War before. First one is that it wasn't a particularly fun game for the lobby. Because once you were out, you had, by definition, you had no points left to bid with. And so it just became an exercise in futility. So now, like with Danger Zone, when you're eliminated in Danger Zone, it just tracks how many questions you've got right, and that is the thing that will pay out your pennies for everybody, no matter where they finish. So you've got a meaningful continuity of the game, continuation of the game, even after you've eliminated. The other problem with it is it was limited to 22 players, and you had to have 22 players. Any more than that, people were disappointed, and any fewer than that, the game wouldn't work. Now, you can run it with as many players, up to 40. 40 is the cap that I have put on it. So that's just something to bear in mind. And the reason that these avatars are doing pop-ups is just so that they're not obscuring the points of the players behind. They're not doing too much obscuring there, but if they were there permanently, I can imagine it getting very annoying very quickly. So they're just they pop up. So that was one thing. It didn't have a very meaningful lobby game. It was limited on the number of players. It was difficult to write for because you had quite a deep question bank requirement. And there was something else. There was a weird fringe case bug where you could potentially break the game if if two players were eliminated and it left it with one at the end of round 3. That has now been fixed by something else that I've added to the game. It should generally be a more cromulent experience from a player point of view, because the app will auto-focus on the answer box. You've got buttons to click to make your bids. Round 3's got a slightly more complicated bidding structure because it's got type and buttons and a submit button, and the timings have been tightened up. There is built-in grace time, incidentally. So even though it says 15 seconds, it's more like 16 and a half. But don't leave it to the last second to submit it just to test it on purpose. If you happen to submit an answer late, that's one thing, but please don't do it on purpose just to break it. So, welcome to the game, our warriors. There is an anytime entry mode. However, if you join late, you won't get a podium. You will only be able to play the background game. So you won't get a podium. So that's very important to bear in mind. If you were eliminated, you can continue in the background game for pennies. There is a medal for the highest scoring non-finalist. So there's still a medal up for grabs if you keep playing along even after you've been eliminated. Pennies are calculated at total number of correct times by 10, I think. So there's a decent chunk of a penny payout. What I was saying on the question writing, before it needed to be 10, 10, 8, 10 with a round length, it can now be any length as long as round 2 has 2 more questions than round 3. So there's a variety available for epic wars or mini wars. This question pack, as written by Oni from the old game, has got the standard, so we will have a maximum of 10 players going through in round 2 and 2 players going into the final. But it would be very interesting to see if we end up getting lots and lots of players, then it might be more fitting to have more questions in round 2 so more people can get through. But yeah, I'm going to let the game do the rest of the talking. I haven't mapped this onto my stream deck yet, so I'm clicking a button. Hopefully that won't create any problems. We have got 28 players in for the war, which is 6 more than the cap allowed in the previous game, which is a good start. Any problems, note them in the Discord in suggestions. Thanks to Oni for this pack. Wish me luck. I'm slightly stressed. Let's go to war. And there's the room code for any time entry. So, round 1. Here are the rules.
Round 1. Opening gambits.
So you're going to face 5 questions. Before each question, a category is shown. Based on that category, bid from 1 to 3 points, up to a maximum of your current score. Abstention causes a default bid of 1. You've 8 seconds to place your bid. It is just a button click. Answer correctly to earn your bid. Answer incorrectly or abstain, you lose your bid. 15 seconds to answer each question. If you run out of points, you're eliminated from the game. If the button doesn't allow you to click it, it's probably because you've got fewer points than that bid. You will only be able to bid up to a maximum of your points, and it is a simple button click, 1, 2, or 3. Okay? Hopefully that all makes sense. Get it right, you win your points. Get it wrong or abstain, you lose them. I'm going to hide my face for shame and look at you. Red font of rules feels a bit harder to... Yeah, red is generally difficult on a darker background. I'll see if I can change that shade up, BC. Here we go. Category number 1. Get your bids in.
Get ready for the category. The category is medical terminology. Time.
Orange means we've received a bid. A good variety of bids from 1 all the way up to 3 there.
Get ready
Not
for the
many bidding
question.
3, but a few are. Here's a question. The word cardiac refers to which organ of the body? All players have answered. It should say on
Time.
your app what you said and how long it took you to say it. Heart was the right answer. Sea of green here. This is the first time I've done this in this game. And also it zooms in on the answer if it's a bit difficult to read. But if I decided, oh, shapes, no, it's allowed that, but actually I don't think that's right, I can actually undo that, and then you would lose 3. But I'm not going to do that. So I can undo and redo, which is a useful flexibility option if at a glance someone has put something and it's gotten through the... Sorry, Shapes just happened to be there. And it's gone through the spell checker. It should hopefully Shapes have updated that at your client end as I was adapting the score in real time. Real-ish time. Everyone's correct. Well played. On to the next category.
Get ready for the category. The category is colours.
Colours. 1, 2, or 3.
Time.
Inca just out of time there, getting a default bid of 1. Here's the question.
Get ready for the question.
What colour has a shade named cerulean? That's a very fair point, Prudes. I'm sorry, I'm looking at Discord at the same time, incidentally. It can be quite difficult. Once you've found yourself, you're sort of there.
Time.
Because you've got shallower shelves on these top 3 rows, I can't really put it on the floor, and anywhere on the podium is going to obstruct something. So I was going for functionality over. Look, it would be lovely to have it. Let me see if I can find your proofs, and you can. There you are. You're right down there on the front. You won't move from that position. Okay. Blue was the answer we wanted. Red, no answer. Green and red, all incorrect. There, I'm afraid you are going to lose your bid. Let's see what that does to the scores. Hopefully your leaderboards are updating. I actually don't have a global leaderboard here. Inca's validated your account. Okay, that could be interesting. Maybe you had an app crash and you're testing the client refresh. We'll find out. Next question.
Get ready for the category. The category is musical instruments.
Aha, I got a
Time.
bid from Inca that time, bidding 2. Excellent. So, here's a question.
Get ready for the question.
Yes, autofocus on the input box shapes. That was a very important thing. Which electronic instrument, patented in 1928, can be played without being touched by the player? It's very important to have an autofocus on it, because that was the reason not to do it in Hackbots, because that didn't work for all devices.
Time.
It's a theremin. Oh god, stylophone, no answer, stylophone, no answer, no answer, no answer. Stylophone may be correct, but I don't know if it was patented or if it's an alternate name. Miniature analog electronic keyboard musical instrument played with a stylus, invented in 1967, so it doesn't fit all of the questions, so I can't allow it. These names up on the third row. Oh, are they difficult to read on the stream? That's fair, Ash. I'll think about that. Could zoom them in. Maybe when I go over them, it zooms in. Oh god, not an answer. Unfortunately, all those reds are genuine reds, so I'm afraid you're going to lose your points. Let's see what that does to the scores. Everyone's still alive. Let's go on to the next question.
Get ready for the category. The category is mountains.
Mountains.
Time.
All bids are in. Good range of 1 to 3.
Get ready for the question.
What is commonly accepted as the second highest mountain in the world? I remember we had some tears over this last time.
Time.
Not so many tears this time, but yes, I'm afraid Kilimanjaro, which Stilgar and Mantissa have put, is the third highest mountain. It's the highest freestanding mountain, not part of a range, but it is K2 that we wanted. Everest is the highest, and no answer there from Fetz. Most players getting K2 there, very well played. Let's see what that does to the scores. Everyone's still alive. I need to debug the low scoring player at any point. Aaron, currently on 2. Like you could be in trouble. Let's go to the last question of the round.
Get ready for the category. The category is football.
Football.
Time.
And there's your time. Bits are in. I've
Get
just had a
ready
thought
for
for
the
how I could
question.
possibly get round this. Names are a bit unclear. The Eredivisie Football League is the highest tier of professional football in which European country? Sort of the best I can do for now in terms of making it a bit
Time.
clearer. And now you can't see all of the things. Oh, apparently we've got a false light there, probably because I was fiddling in the fiddling in the inspector when the clock was going round. The Netherlands was the answer. Red, yes, Laura. Sorry, I was just changing sorry, I was changing the clipping panes, not the clipping panes, the focus view of the camera. Finland, Italy, France, no answer. German, Ireland, Italy, Sweden, Ireland, Spain, no answer. Denmark, Switzerland, France, and Italy, all incorrect. It was the Netherlands. I would have probably accepted Holland on that. It was very red. Yeah, I'll stop fiddling with the view, folks. I was trying to think of ways of making things more visible. That's a good point, Proogs, that I had remembered and then my computer crashed and I hadn't saved my to-do list. I know what you're getting at. Yeah, there's no reference on the client app to which question you're on of what. That I will fix. I want to change that light because that's going to bother me. Can I just do that with... Can I do that with Spoke? Have I left a button on it? Animating line? No. Okay, we might just have to live with that being wrong for a bit, and I'll fix it later on if needs be. Anyway, that is the end of question 5 and the end of round 1. Let's see if anyone's going home.
Aaron Stockdale has been eliminated.
And we have
End of round 1.
got our first casualty. Aaron Stockdale eliminated from the war, but please do continue to play along for pennies. Yeah, sorry about that, Red. I was just fiddling with the field of view, not focus view. Field of view of the camera. I could maybe zoom it in a touch. Problem is you're losing some of the pips. If I maybe move the camera up a smidge, drop the viewing angle down, and the focus view down to like that, It's going to revert back to it because it does some animations on the next one. Hopefully that's a little clearer for you. That light is going to really bug me. And it's because I was fiddling in the inspector when it happened. Anyway, hopefully that's marginally better. It might mean that the top players are going to be obscured by the question strap if we get a top row. We haven't got that for now, so that's not too much to worry about in that department. Good. Oh, for fuck's sake, can I do anything about that light? I'm just worried if there's a Boolean attached to it, which I think there is, which determines what the current occupancy is. So, current final is it current final occupancy? Are they all set to blue? I think they're all just set to blue. Sorry, I'm just having a moment because this is important. Hang on a minute. I'm going to do a quick hack change. I don't know if that is going to actually change it when it does the lights. We'll find out in a minute, I guess. On we go. One question correct for Postal Limb Lobby game. Nice. On we go. Round 2.
Round 2. Top Gun.
So in Top Gun, you'll face 10 questions. Gameplay is identical to before. Maximum bid will increase by 1 with each question. That is a limitation. This round is limited to 10 questions, otherwise it will crash because there are only 15 buttons which will become available providing you have the score to make that bid and that top bid has been unlocked. Yes, the fog is 100% necessary, but no, it's probably not. I could probably kill it, but it's all for stylistic effect. Right, here's the catch rule for round 2. The fastest high bidder to answer correctly is granted passage to round 3. If the fastest high bidder has already been granted passage gets granted to the next fastest high bidder. Higher bids take priority over speed when ordering. So if you bid 4 and you're the first to answer compared to someone who bids 5 and then takes 15 seconds to answer, the person who bids 5 gets priority if you're both correct. If you run out of points or fail to obtain passage to round 3 by the conclusion of the final question, you are eliminated from the game. Could the webcam appear in the top corner? It used to in the old version. Yeah, it did. Accurate drawing is accurate. Possibly. What you've got to remember, Topper, let's move on. As grateful as I am that you want to look at my face, this space where this top strap is potentially another row of players. So if I'm up there, I'm potentially obscuring a podium, which was the only problem with that. Sorry, I'm trying to answer feedback because it's a sort of open test game, trying to answer feedback while the game is live, but I'll focus on the game. Let's play on category number 1, bidding from 1 to 5. Slightly different array for you.
Get ready for the category. The category is musicals.
Musicals is what we're starting with. Override the appearing. Oh, that could work. Could just be an Inca thing, possibly. On app running slow. We had that with JB the other day. Couple of 5s, no 4s, weirdly. Nominated for a Tony Award in 2021, Jagged Little Pill is a musical containing songs by which artist? Yeah, you can see that light is doing weird light things.
Time.
It doesn't matter how many times I change it. Alanis Morissette is the answer. Rip, no answer. Elvis, John Legend, Meatloaf, no answer. Pink, Pink. It's close enough, Proogs. I'll let you have that. Mick Jagger and Prince. All incorrect answers. Alanis Morissette is what we wanted. Computer, who is going through and who is going home?
N0tar_cat has been eliminated.
Not a cat is out. Who's going through? Oh, I have to press the button again now. Not a cat is out of the game. Who's going through?
Passage has been granted to Clivby with a bid of 5 and a response time of 4.23 seconds.
What on Clive? Bid of 5, the maximum bid and the fastest response. You've gone blue, but remember you are still liable to going out if you run out of points. So even if you get passage, you must continue playing the game. Notably, your name was being covered by this box, so I should probably make... Someone write that down. I should probably make the box disappear when we zoom in. We've gone back to that wide view again because that's what the Lerper does. On we go, category number 2.
Get ready for the category. The category is reality TV.
Reality TV.
Time.
Late bits from Shapes and Inca, they should have overwritten the default.
Get ready for the question.
We'll find out in a minute. Here's the question. Which reality TV series was titled Loft Story when it debuted in France? I'm watching Incas very
Time.
carefully because I know he's right. He is just getting the 1 point for that. Big Brother is what we wanted. No answer, no answer. Paradise Island, Fort Boyard, no answer, no answer, no answer. And the Circle, all incorrect. You're going to lose some points. Computer, anyone going out?
Tyson has been eliminated.
Tyson, you're out of the game. Thank you for playing. Your war is over. Computer, who's going through?
Passage has been granted to the Arunettes, with a bid of 6 and a response time of 7.62 seconds.
Fastest high bid was from the Aronettes. Curiously, Shadowmane, Natter, Stilgar and Shapes were all faster, but didn't bid as high. I should probably log what they did bid in that same log. It's Arun who gets passage. Well played. Keep playing along, because you can still get eliminated. On we go, question 3.
Get ready for the category. The category is food.
You've answered your own question there, Prudes, in chat. That's exactly why it is.
Time.
It's not a dynamic real-time scoreboard for
Get ready
reasons,
for the
technical
question.
reasons, clever reasons. But yes, when the question is cleared, it is updated. Which fruit is combined with peaches in the dessert of peach Melba?
Time.
Fine. Raspberry is the answer we wanted there. Lots of wrong answers here. We've got cherry, apricot, strawberry, cherry, cherry, apple, strawberry, pears, apricot, cherry, orange, banana, pear, and no answer, all incorrect. Raspberry is what we wanted. Computer, anyone going home?
Mantisardov has been eliminated.
Mantissa, you're out the game. Thank you for playing. Do continue playing along in the lobby game. Computer, who's going through?
Passage has been granted to Shapes, with a bid of 7 and a response time of 4.59 seconds.
Well done, Shapes. High bid of 7. Also, the fastest correct answer in. So odds were very much in your favour there. We'll see you in round 3. Keep playing, because you can still get eliminated if you run out of points. On we go, question 4.
Get ready for the category. The category is cult cinema.
Cult cinema.
Time.
Okay, range of bids in from 1 all the way up to 8.
Get ready for
Samster
the
and Inca
question.
both bidding 8 here. Let's take a look at the question. Sharing a name with a colour, what is the name of the character in the maid costume in the 1975 film The Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Time.
Magenta is the answer we wanted there. Could players light up in game client to match the status on stream? Blue, advanced, red, and danger. Probably Silent Marine. I would need to unpick that and have a look in more detail, but almost certainly. Yes, magenta is what we wanted. Scarlet, no answer. Red, Magneta is what Inca has said there. That's phonetically plausible. I'll let you have that. Scarlet, no answer. Miss Peacock, Violet, goodbye me. Peach, orange, white, no answer, and Primrose are all incorrect answers. Computer, who's going out?
Puzzle Eden has been eliminated.
Dan, you're out of the game. Thanks for playing. Do continue to play in the lobby game. And Computer, who's going through?
Passage has been granted to Inca, with a bid of
Inca?
8 and a response time of 11.56 seconds.
Slow answer, but high bid. Inca means you have got through. Quite a few players answering faster than you, though. I will give you credit for the fact that you said is running a bit slow. Client's running a bit slow at your end. We'll play on. Next question.
Get ready for the category. The category is European capitals.
European capitals.
Time.
Bids are in from 1 all the way up to 9. AB me, Topper,
Get
Nando,
ready for
Samster,
the
Mark, and
question.
Shapes all bidding the maximum of 9 here. Let's see what the question brings. Located in the Pyrenees, which nation's capital city is the highest above sea level in Europe?
Time.
Andorra is what we wanted. CCC fan, to your question, the timer was still showing. If you move focus off that window, then because of Chrome reasons, it will throttle the animation. So it won't play the animation, and the thing that triggers that animation to disappear, that box to disappear, is when that timer runs out. So basically keep that screen in view. Either that or it's just running slow on your machine. Andorra is the answer. Switzerland, no answer. Madrid, Finland. Andorra la Vella, what did the question ask for? Which nation's capital? The capital is Andorra la Vella Lottibus, but I think because you've got Andorra in the name, I'm going to allow that on this occasion because I'm feeling generous. Romania, Madrid, Luxembourg, but be careful, future answers. Luxembourg, Liechtenstein, Bern, no answer. Switzerland, no answer. Likewise, Samsa. Read the question, but I'll let it go on this occasion. Computer, who's going home?
Opsimuths has been eliminated. Silent Marin has been eliminated.
2 players, Optimuths and Silent Marin. Possibly Silent Marine. No, I'll condone it. I'm feeling generous, and it is a test game. It's one of those ones we're after, but you had the right answer in the name, so I'll let it slide. Computer, who's going through?
Passage has been granted
Mark.
to Mark, with a bid of 9 and a response time of 4.86 seconds.
Amy and BC were both faster than Mark, but didn't bid high enough to be in the priority position, so it's Mark who gets the blue light. Do keep playing because you can still get eliminated. On we go, next category.
Get ready for the category. The category is classic sitcoms.
Classic sitcoms.
Time.
And there's time. Bids range from 1 all the way up to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players bidding
Get ready
10
for
on
the
this question. We'll have priority for passage. What US comedy series was based on the original BBC series Stepford and Son?
Time.
Sanford and Son was the answer. I might have to do some uncondoning here. A buy from Dinatamol. Huey and the Man Seinfeld, Steptoe and Son. I'm not going to allow that one, Lottibus, I'm afraid. See, Manford and Son, that's one I should probably uncondone because it's Sanford and Son. I can't really call that a typo because the M and the S are too far away, so I'm going to uncondone that one. Mumford and Son's the band. Steptoe and Son, again, not quite there. And see, Aaron Etz has gone for Stanford and Son, and I think I should disallow that one as well, just to prove that I can. So, Ben gives and Ben taketh away. Sanford and Son, not Stanford or Manford and Son. So I'm afraid you, Arun and Kolu, are going to lose those points. Computer, has anyone been eliminated?
Dinatamol has been eliminated. Clivey has been eliminated.
Natto has gone, and Clive has gone. Even though Clive had passage before, he has been eliminated, which means we will be down to a maximum of 9 players in the final. Hey, it's... I'm testing the game out. Arun. Computer, who's going through?
Passage has been granted to
Amy.
Nick, with a bid of 10 and a response time of 7.51 seconds.
Well done, Amy, the fastest high bidder. Mark and Apodo were both faster. Mark's already got passage but didn't bid maximum, so priority was lost there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players are through, plus Clive, who's been eliminated. There's room for 4 more. Here's the next category.
Get ready for the category. The category is mythology.
You always say mythology, Computer. It's mythology. Don't cry for me, I have granola. Well, it's not all bad then, is it, Clive?
Time.
Range of bids from 1. Anyone gone for the maximum? Yes, 4 players going for 11. Mark, Samsa, Fetz, and Arun. Here is the question. Who was the Roman counterpart of the Greek god Hephaestus?
Time.
And there's your time. Vulcan is what we wanted. Bacchus, Hercules, Mercury, Odysseus, Jupiter. Bacchus, Jupiter, Demeter, Zeus, and Saturn are all incorrect answers. Vulcan was in the Star Trek race, was the answer that we wanted. We're going to have someone going through at least. Let's just double check. Hephaestus equivalents. Roman counterpart is a Vulcan in Greek mythology, the son of Zeus and Hera, or he was Hera's parthenogenous child. My logic is uncertain, says Stilgar. Computer, who's going home?
Stilgar _ Ken has been eliminated.
Stilgar, thank you for playing, but you're out of the game. Computer, who's going through?
Passage has been
It's the
granted
Fets.
to Fets, with a bid of 11 and a response time of 7.07 seconds.
Well played, Fett. You are through to the next round, and you've gone blue. Do keep playing though, because you can still be eliminated if you run out of points. On we go. Next question. 3 slots available.
Get ready for the category. The category is politics.
Love a politics question.
Time.
Range of bids from 1. 2 players going for 12. Aronets
Get ready
and
for the
Samster. A
question.
runner's already got passage, so if Samster gets this right, he's booking his slot in the next round. Who contested the 2020 US election in as an independent candidate representing the fake birthday party?
Time.
Kanye West was the answer. Jon Stewart, pass. Mr. T, Baron Cohen and Drake, all incorrect. West or Kanye West were the correct answers there. Computer, who is going home?
BC 2014 has been eliminated. Grams has been eliminated.
BC and Grams are out of the game, but thank you for playing. But Computer, who is going through?
Passage has been granted to Samster, with a bid of 12 and a response time of 7.65 seconds.
Well done, Sam. So you've gone blue. You finally got there. You are, I think, the high scorer of the game, but in this game it's not just about points, but you are through to the next round. Very well played on 63 points. 2 slots left. Here's the next category.
Get ready for the category. The category is winter sports.
Winter sports.
Time.
Big range there. Nando with the bid of 13.
Get ready for the question.
Could be the favourite to get through if he gets it right. What is the name of the Winter Olympics snowboarding event where the competitor performs tricks on a downhill course for points?
Time.
Slope style is what we're after. A couple of people getting this one right. Very well done if you did. Freestyle, I'm afraid I can't accept. Freestyle, half pipe, slalom, moguls, no. And of course that's not being much more help with the larger screen there, but that's not the right answer. Slalom, downhill, slalom, freestyle, moguls and half pipe. What is moguls? A few people have said that. Mogul skiing. What did the question ask? I can't remember now because it's not on the screen anymore. Is it in there? Winter sports. Name of it's on a downhill course for points. One timed run of free skiing on a steep, heavily mogul course, stressing technical turns, aerial, international bumps on a piece. Turns count for 60% of the score. Technical evaluation by judges. Air jumps count for 20%. Speed counts for 20% of the course. You could make the argument that moguls... Yeah, did the question ask for a board? Oh yeah, sorry, the question did ask for a snowboarding event. Sorry. So moguls won't count because it is not a snowboarding event. Computer, who is going home?
AB208 has been eliminated. Corporal Toppy has been eliminated.
Corporal Toppy and AB Me, you're out of the game. Thanks for playing. But Computer, who's going through?
Passage has been granted to Lotibus,
wow,
with a bid of 1 and a response time of 9.95 seconds.
A bid of 1 and a relatively sedate response, but Lotibus, you have got passage through to the next round. There is one more slot available. Good luck. Here's the last question of the round.
Get ready for the category.
I know, right?
The category is business.
Business is the category.
Time.
Range of bids from 1 all the way up to 14. Apodo going for 14.
Get ready for the question.
Hasn't got passage yet. He's staking it all here, all but one. Jack Ma, the 3rd richest man in China, founded which e-commerce company in 1999?
Time.
There's your time. Alibaba was the answer. Samsung, G.com, Tencent, PayPal, eBay, no answer, and eBay, all incorrect answers. I'm afraid you have to lose some points. Computer, who's going home?
Krugs has been eliminated. Shadowmane has been eliminated.
Krugs and Shadowmane, thanks for playing, but you are out of the game. Is anyone getting passage here? Colo and Nando, the only players not with passage to get it right. It's going to come down to who was fastest. Woo! Computer, who's going through?
Passage has been granted to Fernando, with a bid of 7 and a response time of 9.96 seconds.
I was just looking at my notes and thinking, actually, Colo was faster. But of course, Nando must have bid higher. Nando bid 7 and Colo bid 1. And of course, it's the high bid that takes priority. So Colo, you were a smidge faster. But Nando had the higher bid, so it does take priority. So I'm afraid your war will be over. We have got our remaining warriors and everyone else. I'm afraid your war is over.
End of round 2.
So Colo, Nissa Vertigo, and Apodo are eliminated, and you don't even get the computer saying your names. It probably should, but there we go. No, honestly, the current X has been eliminated. Y has been eliminated in a long-winded X, Y, Z. Yeah, there's a reason for that, Shapes. Is that I'm lazy. I couldn't figure out. I could figure out how to do them, but I wanted to do it relatively quickly. But yeah, it is quite long-winded. The plus side, I do get a debug log of who is going to be eliminated, so I can not continue until afterwards. But yeah, that should probably be nixed and made a little bit more streamlined. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players going into round 3, and we've got a brand new follow. Nick M. Is that Nick M? Did it say Nick M? Do I look at that one? Or is it that one? Then probably never remember which tab. Nick M201, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. If statements for the... I think that's probably a... I can't even remember what logic's on there. But there we go. Right, 9 players go on, and we need 2 to get to the final. Let's take a look at the rules for round number 3.
Round 3. Survival of the fittest.
So you're going to face up to 8 questions. Gameplay's the same as before. The bid range is now unlimited with a default minimum bid of 5. If you've been eliminated, you won't be able to bid, but do continue to answer the questions. If you've got fewer than 5 points, your bid will default to your total points. At the end of each question, the player or players with the lowest score will be eliminated. Play continues until only 2 players remain. In the event multiple eliminations on a single question results in fewer than 2 players remaining, a player or players with the highest total correct count will be brought back for the final. A word of advice on your client apps for this round. There's a submit button. There is a typey button, a typey box for you to be able to type your bid, which will auto-focus when the bidding opens, so you can type it there. You've got 3 quick buttons for minimum, middle, and maximum. And you've got a slider that you can move around for slightly more granular movement. However, you must either hit enter or press submit before the time runs out. It won't automatically just take what you've got it set at. I had a brief chat with Topper about this, and I think we decided it would be better to have the default minimum rather than accidentally leave it at 2/3 of your points and then think, actually I don't want to do that, I'm going to let it run out. So if you don't do anything, the default will be 5. All right, but you've got a number of different ways of doing it. Either a quick, even if you press minimum, maximum, middle, you must press submit afterwards, okay? Or you can just type the number into the box, whichever is fine. Hopefully, it all makes a certain amount of sense.
Lotibus, you are in peril.
Lotibus, you are in peril with a low score of 3. If you're still the low scorer at the end of this question, you will be eliminated. Good luck. Here is the first category.
Get ready for the category.
I'll take that result. Yeah, guaranteed 9.
The category is art.
Art is the category. Well, not necessarily guaranteed because the end leaderboard is based on total correct. But 9th
Time.
Not to be eliminated, possibly. Good range of bids. Samson, Mark and Shapes all going for 20 on this one. Lotibus, Inca, Amy, Nando and Fetz going for 5. Which German art school, opened between 1919 and 1933, gave its name to an art movement described as being one of the first examples of modernist art?
Time.
It's Bauhaus is the answer. Most players getting it. No answer from Fetz. Art Deco for the Aronettes. Everything else is correct. Well played. Let's see what the scores are. Has Lotibus done enough to get through? You have, Lotibus. You live to fight another question because Arun went all in on that one and he's dropped down to 0. Unfortunately, Arun, your war is over.
With a score of 0, the Aronettes, you have been eliminated.
Aronettes is out the game.
Lotibus, you are in peril.
Lottibus, you're still in peril with a score of 6. Fetz is the next closest to you on 13. Chance for you to continue if you can double your points and Fetz gets it wrong. Let's see what the category brings. Here it is.
Get ready for the category. The category is American television.
American television.
Time.
And here's the question.
Get ready for the question.
In which war was the TV series MASH set? Give you a clue, it wasn't Bidding War.
Time.
And there's your time. It's the Korean War. The Vietnam War is not the right answer. Fetz and Nando, you're going to lose some points. Lottibus getting it right again, and with Fetz getting that one wrong, Lottibus, you may live to fight another day. Let's find out. Korean War is what we wanted. Oh! Fetz has dropped to 4, but Nando's dropped all the way to 0, so I'm afraid, Nando, your war is over.
With a score of 0, Fernando, you have been eliminated. Fetz, you are in peril.
So Lottibus not only still here, but no longer in peril. It's Fetz with the low score of 4. Let's go on to the next category.
Get ready for the category.
The Potato War.
The category is literature.
Literature. No prizes for guessing what Fetz is bidding here.
Time.
Going for the all-in of 4, Inca and Lottibus for 5. Oh, there's a late bid from Inca
Get
coming
ready
in. I
for
think
the
it's still going to
question.
set you as 5. Which 1922 James Joyce novel topped Modern Library's 100 Best Novels list of the best English language novels of the 20th century?
Time.
Correct answer was Ulysses. Fet's going with Buy. Not the right answer. To Natter and Aronets, unfortunately, I can't condone answers in the lobby game because you have no longer got a podium for me to click on. Have some moral points, but I have a moral extra token. I can actually edit it in the player editor, but you can count a moral point on that, even though the computer said it was wrong. Fetz, your war is over.
With a score of 0, Fetz, you have been eliminated.
So,
Lottibus, you are in peril.
is back in peril, and there's a bit more of a gap between yourself and Amy on 71, and you're on 17. Not impossible. Let's see what the category brings.
Get ready for the category. The category is fashion.
Fashion.
Time.
Okay, big range of bids in here.
Get
Highest
ready for
being
the
90 from
question.
Samster. Here's the question. Of the main 4 fashion weeks, commonly called the Big 4, which of them is the only one that takes place outside of Europe? Answers locked in from all players.
Time.
It's New York Fashion Week. New York City, I will accept. Taking up to 22. I don't think there's going to be enough there for you to survive, Lottibus. But New York Fashion Week was the answer. Computer, whose war is over.
With a score of 22, Lottibus, you have been eliminated.
Lottibus, I think the first player to be eliminated with points, but 22.
You are in peril.
Very well played, Lottibus, and you go out in 6th place. Amy, you are now in peril on 94. You don't necessarily need to wager all in. You need to think what other players are going to bid on this next one. Here is the category.
Get ready for the category. The category is beer, wine and spirits.
Beer, wine, and spirits.
Time.
Just a bit late there, Amy and Inca. Not quite sure why,
ready
but
for the
you've got the
question.
minimum bid of 5. Let's see what happens. The Belgian beer variety Kriek Lambic is made by fermenting the beer with which fruit?
Time.
And there's time. It's cherries, or cherry was the answer. Oh, Enka, it did count your bid. Because that's a lot more than 5 that you've got there. It just didn't update your thing. So that's the grace time working properly. Even though it said bid of 5, Inca actually bid a lot more than that. It didn't debug more than 5 because the call happens afterwards. But the grace time has obviously worked it, because when it finally comes through, it updates your player object to what your bid is. It should probably update it on your podium as well. Likewise, Amy, you got a lot more than 5 for that question, so it would have counted your actual bid. So good, the grace time is working. Should probably update on podiums. Pair is not the right answer, Mark. You are going to lose your stake, I'm afraid. How many points is that? You're down to 164 because Mark just bid 5 on that one. So, Amy, despite getting 150 points, I'm afraid your war is over.
With a score of 150,
Cool.
you have been eliminated.
The score of 150. Imagine getting eliminated with
Shapes,
150.
You are in peril.
Shapes is in peril with 158. Good God, this is a game of high strategy now. Good luck. Here is the next category.
Get ready for the category. The category is YouTube.
Ugh, YouTubers.
Time.
And we don't know what Inca's bid because it doesn't say, but Shapes has bid 50, Sam's has bid 40.
Get ready
Mark's
for
is
the
going for
question.
5. He's going to hope others are going to get it wrong. Rhett McLaughlin, actually Shapes is in peril, so well, we'll see. Rhett McLaughlin and Link Neal host which daily YouTube show that celebrated its 2000th episode in July 2021?
Time.
Good Mythical Morning is what we wanted. No answer there from Mark or Shapes or Inca. Sam's the only one to get it in the remaining players. Quite a few in the wings getting it. Let's see how many points the other 3 have lost. Oh, Shapes losing a healthy batch there, down to 108. That is going to be it, Shapes. I'm afraid your war is over.
With a score of 108, Shapes, you have been eliminated.
Okay.
Mark, you are in peril.
Quite a wide spread. We can only have 2 players in the final. Can you do the fast maths to guarantee that you get through? Is it possible if you do the fast maths to guarantee to get through? Probably not, because Mark can double up to 318 here, which would supersede Inca if he bids the minimum. So, it's going to be reliant on who gets the question right. Good luck. Here is the question.
Get ready for the category. The category is motoring.
Motoring. Says category 7 of 8. It will be category 7 of 7. Because we only had 9 coming through. Inca with 253, so all in. Mark 159,
Get
all
ready
in.
For the question.
Samson with a bid of 5, he doesn't care. The bike and sports car manufacturer KTM comes from which country? Well, this is interesting. It's Austria. All 3 of them are wrong. Japan, South Korea, and South Korea. Which means we get to test my little feature that I've implemented at this point. Because Mark and Inca both went all in, I think. Saps are just losing the 5. And Inca did go all in. So it's going to be Mark and Inca. Now in the past, this would have broken the game. In the past, this would have broken the game. But I've implemented a feature which means the player who's got the most correct out of Mark and Inca will be brought back to the game. If there happens to be a tie on that as well, the player who had the highest maximum points will be brought back, which I believe is Inca, who was up to 253. Mark was only in the hundreds. So, let's see them go.
With a score of 0, Mark, Inca, you have been eliminated.
That's what it's supposed to do in round 2. Mark, Inca, you have been eliminated. I need to do that for round 2. One of you is going to come back to face Samson in the final. Who's gotten the most right in the game so far? Computer, let's bring someone back.
Inca has been restored.
Inca!
End of round 3.
You're back for the final, losing all your points, but you got 17 right, which is more than Mark, or possibly the same as Mark, but with a higher max points. 17 all-in questions. It's Inca versus Samsa, a grudge match for the ages. I'm not going to mention face-off in Super Week. Oh, I just did. Both were tied on the leaderboard, so it would have come down to maximum points in the main game, which was Inca. Well, I think it's time for the final. Inca, Samster, I hope you're ready to play. Let's go to domination. I'm having a little lie down on my chair so you can still see me. Smaller array, but the rules are the same. Here's domination.
Round 4. Domination.
The array shows 15 lit circles. The player who was ahead at the conclusion of round 3 has 8. That's Samson. The runner-up has 7. That's Inca. You'll face up to 10 questions. Gameplay is identical to round 1. The bid range is 1 to 3 with the default bid of 1. Exactly the same as round 1. Answer correctly to swing the array in your favour. Answer incorrectly or abstain to swing the array in your opponent's favour. Both players' bids are factored into the swing, meaning the maximum swing per question is 6. There'll be a little box graph that'll show you the potential outcomes of the game as well. First player to swing the array entirely to their colour wins the game. If no winner has emerged by the final question, the player with the most lit circles wins. The bids are represented by the little capsules down at the bottom. Hopefully that circle has now fixed itself because it works in a slightly different way in the final. These little capsules just down here, they will represent the bids. They'll light up to show whether they bid 1, 2 or 3. Audience game, you won't be able to bid. Floor's the front wall and Ben's doing a headstand. Yeah, quite. You won't be able to bid, but you will still be able to answer as before. Good luck. Here's the first category.
Get ready for the category.
Obviously the lights don't flash either, but
The
you get a
category
ping.
is 1960s cinema.
1960s cinema. Both players bid.
Time.
Samson going for 2, Inca going for 1. Those are the potential outcomes of this question.
Get
Here it
ready
is.
for the question.
In the 1967 film Cool Hand Luke, Luke wins a bet in prison by eating 50 what? He's incredibly good at precipitating. Might as well call him Gaston. Eggs was the answer, both players getting it right. And with Samson having the higher bid, that is going to be a swing of 1 in his favour. If you notice on it, it might be very difficult to read, but it says right/right, which puts it as 1 point towards Samson. Now, what's the array? I've changed this. This was an oft-requested feature in Bidding War 1. It only changes the ones that change. It's Samson pressing his advantage. Let's go on to the next question. Let's go on to the next question.
Get ready for the category.
In case it triggers the end game.
The category is flags.
Flags. The cunning use of flags. Have you a flag?
Time.
It's a deadlock, 2 bids each, so we could stay exactly where we are, or we could have a big swing to Inca,
Get
or
ready for
Samson
the
getting close to
question.
winning the game if it goes in his favour. Good luck. Of the 11 South American countries, how many do not have red of their flags? It should probably be on their flags. Sam's in. Inca's in.
Time.
You're both wrong. Sam's going for 0, Inca going for 2. It's actually 3. I'm afraid I can't furnish you with which ones they are. I'm sure someone in the chat will. That's a thing I can do. I can still do that in the final as well. Not needed to yet, but both wrong, so we have deadlock. And we go on to the next question.
Get ready for the category.
It's called deadlock,
The
not a cap, not
category is
stalemate. Deadlock in
volcanoes.
this game. Volcanoes is the category. We've had mountains earlier on, now it's volcanoes.
Time.
Difference of bids. Inca's going for 3, Samson for 2.
Get ready
Potentially
for
devastating
the
for
question.
Inca here. What is the technical term for a crater-like sinkhole appearing when a magma chamber in a volcano collapses, causing the ground above it to sink into the hole?
Time.
Inca, you're just out of time on that one, I'm afraid. Caldera was the answer. Pyroclastic flow, I don't think is the answer, but I'll double check for you, Sam. Much high porosity of gas to rock known as fully dynamic. Is there anything on the Wikipedia page along the lines of caldera? No, there's not. They're not referencing it on that page, so I'm not going to allow that. But you're still going to get a swing of 1 in your favour because you didn't bid as high as Inca there, Samsa, so you're getting another light. On we go, next category.
Get ready for the category. The category is definitions.
Definitions, bit of English language for you. Oh, might not be English language, but etymology.
Time.
Ooh, Inca with a bid in the nick of time, bidding 3. Both bidding 3. Could have deadlock, or Samson could win on
Get
this
ready
question.
for the question.
Here it is. Which English word derived from Scandinavia means an officer in charge of investigating complaints of rights violations and malpractice? Both players have locked in.
Time.
And both players are correct. It's the Ombudsman, also accepted Ombudswoman. I think Ombudsperson might have been down on the list as well. So once again, we have got a deadlock. Next category.
Get ready for the category. The category is the Bible.
The halfway point, we've reached the Bible.
Time.
Both players have bid 2, so we could have deadlock again, though Samster can't win on this one.
Get ready for the question.
In the King James Bible, which book immediately follows the Pentateuch? No answer from Samster. It would be Joshua. I thought it was 1 Kings, actually. But, yeah, the Pentateuch, I think, is Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. I then thought it went 1 Kings, but maybe it goes Joshua first. Either way, it is both bidding 2 and both getting it wrong, which means, once again, we have got a deadlock. Samster still with the advantage. Can he hang on for 5 questions and keep that lead? We'll see. Here's the next question, category number 6.
Get ready for the category. The category is birds.
Birds are birds. We just don't know. Both players a bid.
Time.
Samster on the aggression here with 3. Inca just going for 2. Samster, you can win it on this one if you're right and Innes is wrong. Here's the question. The Monty Python's seminal Dead Parrot sketch, what specific species is the parrot? Inca's in. And Samster's in.
Time.
It's a Norwegian blue. Inca's got it and Samster hasn't, which means that for the first time we're going to put the array the other direction. That is a swing of 5 in Inca's favour. And Inca now with the advantage as we press on to the next question.
Get ready for the category. The category is chemical compounds.
Chemical compounds. I wonder what Samster's bidding here. Mind you, Innes is a bit of a side spot as well. They're both going 3, so he could have deadlock, or this could be Inca's gain in a massive reversal of fortune. The hydrocarbon octane consists of 8 carbon atoms and how many hydrogen atoms? Both players have answered.
Time.
And of course, both players are absolutely right. It's 18. Very well done. Once again, we have deadlock advantage staying with Inca. Next category. I think
Get ready
3
for
to go.
the category. The category is video games.
Video games. Ooh, Inca just put the bid in the nick of time. 3 for Samster, 2 for Inca. Inca could win it here,
for the question.
or Samster could retake the lead. Released in 1993, which company made the poorly selling FM Towns Marty home console?
Time.
Let's see Samster's answer. So for fuck's sake, Oni, GG, Inca. But Inca's gone for Amiga. I would have condoned it as phonetically plausible had it been Omega, but it was Fujitsu. Fujitsu was the answer. So with Samster having the higher bid there for 3 against Inca's 2, it is going to be a swing of 1 in Inca's favour because you're both wrong. Fujitsu. 2 questions to go. Inca's still on the aggression here. Samster's still got 4 blue lights. Can he turn it around? Here's question category number 9.
Get ready for the category. The category is memes.
Memes.
Time.
A 3 and a 2. Again, Inca could win it here.
Get ready for the question.
Samster could take the lead. The song Shooting Stars, theme tune for that meme where people fall through space, was a 2008 hit for which Australian music group?
Time.
And no answer from Inca there. Oh, it has come in. Galley Raiders. It's Bag Raiders. I will just see if that is an acceptable alternative. Galley Raiders or possibly Galaxy Raiders. What's the actual answer? Bag Raiders. Yeah, it's very much Bag Raiders. I don't see any other reference to being called Galaxy Raiders, which means with one question to go, Samster has managed to swing it back in his favour. Samster, that is a swing of 5 to you. Well played. So we're almost back to exactly where we started, and it is going to come down to this final question. Good luck. Here is the category.
Get ready for the category. The category is classical music.
I laugh because I know this is somewhat in Inca's wheelhouse, but will it be enough? Samster's gone for 2. He's got to get it wrong and Inca's got to get it right in order for him to win, because Inca has rather predictably gone for 3 here. Here's the question. After which alcoholic drink did Sergei Rachmaninoff nickname the 24th and final variation of his work Rhapsody on a Theme of Paganini? Both players are in.
Time.
Afraid it's a bit more obscure than that. Crème de menthe is what we wanted there. Gin and vodka, both incorrect, which is going to be a swing of 1 in Samster's favour because he bid 2 and Inca bid 3. And after 10 questions, back and forth it has gone, but we have got a winner. Congratulations are owed to Samster.
Congratulations to Samster. You have won the war.
That's supposed to be you, Samster. Well played, Samster. You won the war. Commiserations to Innis. Great performance there, and a really epic final battle. That was a huge amount of fun to watch. So thank you both for taking part. And thank you to everybody who did take part in that test game. Apologies if you had some technical issues. I will read through. The feedback that you've put into suggestions. I will just stress reminder that you are allowed to say positive things as well. It doesn't all have to be negative. We'll ever receive roses? Yeah, probably. Thank you to Oni in Absentia for that question pack from a couple of years ago. Really good fun there. And Zeus, welcome to the stream. Just in time for the end. Cool. Yeah, I look forward to reading the feedback. Please say positive things as well as constructive things. I will try and aim to make some fixes. I see there's a few things coming in about scoreboards and things, which I'll look at, and maybe some things not being quite in sync. Message from our sponsor, Amy. No message, but thank you very much for the 250 bits there, Amy. Most grateful to you. It's very kind. They were fun. I'm going to go back onto the big webcam just to finish off, so I'm going to roll these credits. You will get medals, but before we do that, we need to see how we've got on the leaderboard. Oh, for some reason it's gone right to the top. I thought it started at the bottom, but apparently not. So you've got your total correct, and then the maximum points that you had in live play of the game. There's our top 20. Ops and Maths on 20th. Tie there, Ops, Maths and BC. Shadowmane managing to get 9. Stilgar and Topper and Vertigo getting 10. Nando, Prudes and Fets all getting 11. And Podo and Lottibus getting 12. Natter picking up 13. The Aronets 15, ABMe 17, Amy 19, Shapes 20, Colo 21, but it's Mark who gets the lobby medal with 22 questions correct. Maximum points of 169. That is the order it goes. Total correct and then max points. So Mark will get the lobby medal. It's Inca who'll get the silver with 21 and 258 max points, and Samster who won the war. More maximum points and a higher correct total. So maybe there's some poetic justice in that. What's that? 2-1 now to Inca. I really like this scoreboard, I have to say. It's quite pleasing. But very well done. Those are the points. Medals will be awarded. It is all in there, and you get pennies times... what is penny count in this game? Is it on game control? Yes. 10 times your total points. So if you got 23 points, you get 230 pennies. That actually seems a bit cheap. I'm going to roll the credits, then I'll come back to the cam and happy to take any more questions if you've got immediate ones. But in the interim, please do put them into the Discord. Thank you very much for playing. Thanks to Oni for the pack. I'll see you on the webcam in a few minutes. And congratulations to Samster. You have won the war. I made it to the end. Nothing crashed apart from Chrome, where my Twitch stream is no longer showing me my monitor. And the pennies have been written. Let's refresh the apps so they're all up to date. And let's go to just cam and stop the build. And whew, and breathe. Right, I'm going to need to re-enable the webcam. Hello. So look for similar music. Yeah, of course I will, Topper. That was fun. My immediate thoughts, and it's possibly because I was A, anxious about the build, and B, thinking, possibly because I was troubleshooting the suggestions coming into the Discord in real time, I felt it might have been a bit slow, possibly even still. I know it was never the fastest game in the world. But again, that can easily be adapted because the question pack count can be adapted. So you don't have to have 10 questions in round 2. You can't have more than that unless I make a change to cap the high bid at 14 in round 2, which is probably easily done. Well, it didn't crash, so yeah, but yes, the game seemed quite... It did seem quite long. I mean, I might suggest to people that the recommended question count for round 2 is maybe 8. Or maybe put those extra questions into round 1, because round 1 tends to move at a faster pace. So more questions at the easier end than at the difficult end. That last battle, though, was epic. It's always, I think it's always good yarn as a host to watch, and then watching back in spectator mode is always interesting. What I will do tomorrow is go and watch back the stream to see what you're seeing on the stream end, because I recognise what I'm seeing in 1440p here isn't necessarily translating down to the stream. So I'll check back and see viewability and stuff. Of course, I'll go through all the feedback and I'll respond to everyone directly. Obviously, no guarantee that your stuff gets implemented, but obviously anything that's sensible, that makes sense, that isn't going to be a massive time sink, is likely to get a look in. So yeah, this is the plan for most of my back catalogue, because of course I can't invent new games anymore, but I can adapt my old ones and still run them and make them better, sort of doing a knowing what I know now. So the next one that's on the docket for improvement with this headless controller, to which I'm grateful to Ash for, will be the Abyss, which I started yesterday, and I'm probably about 4/5 of the way through. It needs some testing and it needs the end game tweaking, but it's mainly because I've now put together a template which saves me about 6 hours of work per project, and it's all numpty work, like really boring stuff. So things like lozenges and buttons and things on screen can be done really, really quickly now, because I've built myself a useful template, which is very helpful. So yeah, Abyss is next. Distinction I might put on, just because it's running in an older version of Unity, and I know it's really popular. The Purge I know I want to do as well, because that's a pressy button one. Risky Business and Red Herrings as well, because they're mainly multiple choice button press games, so that'd be really good use for the controller app. So yeah. Good. I look forward to reading your feedback. Thanks all very much for coming out tonight. It's been good tonight. It's been really busy. Lots of people here. I think we 55 people at one point, I think, which is very gratifying. So thank you very much for coming to join me in this little pocket of the internet. Other streaming friends are doing stuff in the coming days. Let's give some shout outs to, let's start with Bash. He's going to be here Wednesday and Friday next week with, I think he's doing a dev stream, I think he said on Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday the 16th, dev stream of something, and then he's here on Friday the 18th of August at 8 p.m. with Secret Fortune and Outright by Ramsey and Ape, respectively. That should be a fun stream. 2 of my favourites there, actually, next Friday. So, and although there's also a thing happening with, is it Dumpster? No, Wheel After Dark Takeover. Is that also on the 18th, Ash? Let me give a shout out to JB Henry as well. What is JB Henry's? Is it XIV? Is that it? I'm sure that's it. Wheel After Dark, but I think Wheel After Dark is going to be over on Ash's channel when Ash is doing the takeover. But JB Henry doing stuff over the weekend. We've also got Topper. I know Topper had a little break on this week just gone. And I think he is this week. No, you're back from Manchester this week. So Thursday, the 17th of August, also 8 p.m. Elimination by K-Jarves and Slam by 8 Minky with Topper to look forward to. That's on Thursday. Do go give him a follow. As for me, I am going to be back. Is next week the finale? Yeah, I'm streaming the coming Thursday. Good stuff. I didn't think it was the finale just yet. I thought we had a few more before the finale. My finale's on the horizon as well. Now, next week, again, another change of schedule. It says Buzz Off, Danger Zone and The Purge next Saturday. Buzz Off isn't happening because we've done one of the semi-finals already, and the other semi-final is being pushed back to the 26th of August just for scheduling reasons with the semi-finalists. So that will be Claire versus Samster, but that's Saturday the 26th of August. Next Saturday, the 19th, we've got no warm-up, but we've got Danger Zone and The Purge, so two very intense elimination-based games coming your way next Saturday. I know they're two of my eldest in my library and two fan favourites, so do come along for those. Danger Zone and The Purge next Saturday with packs by, I can't tell you because I've closed that window down. I think Danger Zone is jogging and I think The Purge is Proogs, I want to say. Danger Zone by jogging and The Purge by Proogs. So we're getting jogging 2 weeks on the belt, which should be fun, but very different moods for both of them. I'm going to give you forward warning. Saturday the 26th of August, that's 2 weeks today, is my birthday. It's my actual birthday on the Saturday, and I'm going to be streaming, and it's going to be a little bit different. The stream is going to be different. There's going to be all sorts of fun things happening. I'm resurrecting Hacker for the first time in about a year, so at some point I'll take a look at that and make sure it still works. We're also playing The Escape Artist. We've got the other Buzz Off semi-final that I mentioned, which will probably be after, so go Hacker, then the Buzz Off semi-final, then The Escape Artist, and then to finish off the night, there's a top secret game, which I'm very excited about. I'm not going to say any more than that, other than to say it's going to be amazing. I may have some guests with me here in little old Sussex here, and I might be subverting the form somewhat. So that's 2 weeks' time. I'm really looking forward to it. So I do hope you'll come and join me for my birthday, Saturday the 26th of August. That's 2 weeks today. The day after, of course, is mine and Mrs. Flush's 6th wedding anniversary, so we're having a bit of a do on the Sunday. Who knows about the secret? It's probably about 3 people. Maybe fewer than that. I don't know what is going on with Twitch at the moment. It doesn't seem to want to play at my end, but I assume I'm still live since people are still chatting. So those are all the things that are going on at the moment. Go give people all the follows. As ever, do come and join the Discord. Come give me feedback to Bidding War. We'll be playing that for the first time properly with new questions by Lingo Maniac on the 2nd of September. Hopefully in the interim, I can iron out those kinks. I have got, if you're having browser issues, as in the build is running really slow for you, what I have got available is a standalone Windows app. It's just I just have to build it in a slightly different way, which I can send to you. It'll be about 60 megabytes. Put it on Google Drive. So if people wanted to play on a desktop app, you'd have to download it. WebGL is advantageous because you can just type it into a browser window and go. But if you are having troubles, that's my first recommendation. Is that here, have a PC build that you can use instead, which will work in exactly the same way, look exactly the same. It would just be standalone as an app that you store on your computer. So that's going to be one of the backup options if anyone is interested in having it as a desktop client rather than a browser client. And that's going to be it from me for this evening. Thank you all so much for joining. It was so nice to see so many of you. Thank you for coming to play. Thank you to Clive for Battlefront. And well done to Mark. I think it was Mark Colo in the final. I think Mark just eking it out of the last question. Well done there. To Dogfish, thank you very much for Cryptex, and congratulations, I think, again to Mark on taking the gold medal in that one. Thank you to Jogging for distinction, and well done to Samster on taking the top spot in that one. And thank you again to Oni for those bidding war questions. And well done to Samster on that. So it's Mark, Samster are our champions tonight. Dragon Ball Z fan, welcome to the stream. Just in time for us to finish. Is there anyone to raid? I think we are going to go and raid Nico again. We raided him last week. He's a good guy. He's doing some weird thing at the moment where he's making a controller device with spoons. But that's not what he's playing. He is playing AD, whatever that is. It looks like a 2D platformer, but he's a great guy who looks a little bit like my brother. So let's go give him some love. And I can't remember what I said the raid message was going to be. Let's just go... War didn't crash. because I'm happy about that. We're going to go raid Nico and say war didn't crash. Nico Hart. He's a top bloke. Let's go say hey and say war didn't crash. That's it from me for tonight. Thank you everyone for playing. Thank you to all the writers once again. Until next Saturday, unless I catch you on Ash or Toppers or somewhere else in the interim, have a splendid week. Be sensible and wonderful and marvellous and safe as always. And until next time, you have been watching Game Night. I've been Royal Flush. Take care. Peace out and good night.